Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, good night, good, bad, good, bad, good. As per the usual, for those of you who are Astros fans, you already know this. But for those of you who are not Astros fans, or think for some reason that you roam around of free will, free mind, free thought, you are incorrect, because you are under the authority of the Houston Astros wherever you go. They say that the Astrodome is in Houston, Texas, but I tell you, verily, verily, it is so, that the Astrodome covers the earth. So wherever you are, there is Houston. Yordan Alvarez, a couple of doubles and an RBI in his most recent appearance with the Hooks, the Corpus Christi Hooks. 3 for 4. He's now 5 for 8 in 2 rehab games. So that's pretty good news. And he even got a steal, got a stolen base. What in the world do they have him doing, stealing bases? But it just adds more fuel to the fire that is Yordan is ready to come back, and I'm happy to hear about that. Mr. Page, hello, how are you today? It's really nice to see you. I think I overall had a nice rest last night. Nice sleep. Woke up a few times, but no big deal. Was able to go right back to sleep. Yeah, Bennett was on the IL, and we've got the new old guy in, right? Curious to see what all of you have to say about that. The reliever that we brought in. I'm also interested to see if they have any other details. Let me see. Yeah, here's a recent article. Take a look at this. Elbow inflammation. Posted just a couple of hours ago. It's not exactly known when his elbow began to bother him. And they say that he'll be eligible to return by September 4th. But given the nature of the injury, he might need more time. But, you know, it's the Astros, so you know that there's no way to really know what it will really turn out to be, right? Hey, Glenn. Good morning to you, sir. Nice to see you here. It is almost 8 o'clock in the morning. I mostly got started on time today. I prefer to get in and get started on the game before at least 15 minutes before the pitch. I remember I used to try to just get in and get started on the game a few minutes before the pitch, but that's unreasonable for several reasons. It gives no padding to work out kinks, issues, say hello to everybody, go over the starting lineup, and so on and so forth. So 15 minutes before is kind of my cutoff. I can play a little music, get settled in, get my coffee ready. Fish-Eyed Fool says, Kimbrel ain't what he used to be, but he'll do. Yeah, what they're planning to use him for, I heard an interview today with Joe Espada, And from what they're planning to use him for, he's just kind of a fill-in guy. They don't expect him to be, any kind of savior or Josh Hader or guy to come in and close it out. They just expect him to provide a little support in the bullpen. So, with the Astros track record with their bullpen, maybe we can do that. We'll see. Mr. Page wants to know if there's any update from the doctor visit. I appreciate you asking about that. Yeah, and I can tell you guys and gals, that the good thing is that I went prepared this time. I've kind of learned my lesson. If I go to the hospital or to a clinic to go get an exam and I suspect that there might be a problem, I've learned to take a bag of stuff. So yesterday I took my computer, I took all of my amenities like my deodorant and toothpaste and all of that stuff, my razors, shaver. Took a few changes of clothes. I took my computer, took everything, and I went to the clinic. The good thing is that the doctor there, he did do one extra scan that I didn't necessarily want, but he wanted to do that first, it was just the basic chest X-ray, and he said there were some shadows in there, so he said we could go ahead and do the CT scan. So we did the CT scan, and he said there are 5 or 6 shadows in that scan that suggest cancer metastasis. But that's not new news. I've known this for several years now. The good thing is that the way he presents it is that there are several spots that suggest metastasis, but it's nothing major right now, nothing blown out of proportion or huge. That's good considering how I've had this issue for a few years. So that's good. But as far as it relates to the PE, the pulmonary embolism possibility, he says that he doesn't see anything that suggests that that's a danger for me right now. And he said if he felt like it appeared to be, if anything in my lungs appeared to be pointing towards there being a clot, then he would definitely recommend me to go to the hospital. But he didn't see anything that gives off that warning right now. So that's the good news, and that's why I'm at home today. If he had said, listen, I'm either not sure, it might show something, or it definitely does show something, then you need to go to the hospital. If he had said that, then I wouldn't be here at home right now. So the good news, like I said, is that he doesn't see anything worth worrying about right now as it relates to a PE, a possible PE. So that's the good news. And I was really happy to be able to have a conversation with him about, he actually spoke a little bit of English. So between my Japanese and his English, and of course I have a translation tool, we were able to have a much better conversation. And my doctor in Hiroshima, the one I went to day before yesterday, he knows me pretty well. He's been seeing me for a while now, for more than a year. He replaced my previous doctor who opened his own clinic. But this doctor that I've been seeing for over a year, he knows me really well, and he shouldn't have any problems asking me questions and giving me suggestions and communicating, even though his English is terrible. But this doctor yesterday, maybe it was because he's younger, I don't know. He's younger than I am. He appears to be about 40 years old, and a really nice guy. He was pretty thorough. We were very conversational, and he told me that basically, he said, listen, you can continue your blood thinners, but he said, because you're coughing, you're having a consistent cough, and you've got these shadows in your lungs and you've got the tumor on your kidney, there's very real risk of bleeding. And he said, I really worry about that, and I think that you've got either the risk of bleeding or you've got the risk of clot if you don't use the blood thinner. So you kind of have to pick which one. And he said, I think the bigger risk is the bleeding. So he said, if you can find a way to better manage what you're doing, continue to wear your compression socks. And he really liked that I was taking supplements. That's another thing. This doctor said, if you're taking, your fish oils and your vitamin D and your magnesium, et cetera, you're taking all these things, that's very good. He said, continue to do that. But the other doctor laughed at those things. He laughs at supplements. He laughs at compression socks. This is no joke. It's amazing how one doctor can actually recommend something and say it's good. Keep doing that. And then the other doctor I had literally laughs at those things like they're silly. And even told me one time, I'm not so sure that's going to do anything for you. What kind of a doctor doesn't even understand compression socks? I mean, really. Anyway, that's how it went. Thank you for asking. We can basically say that given the situation, it turned out about as good as it can. So now it's just really up to me to continue to keep my mind in check, my emotions in check, and do the best I can with my diet and my fasting. And we'll see how it goes. It looks like all of the warm-up is finished. Jeremy Pena is at the plate. Mari Povich is on the mound. First pitch is above the zone. When I say Mari Povich, I'm talking about Cade Povich, by the way. What's up, John? Good to see you. Absolutely, Michael. Let's start a winning streak. Mr. Page, glad to hear you got some positivity from it. Thank you very much. Nobody likes to hear that they've got some shadows and stuff like that in their lungs, but that's not new news, like I said. But the visit, the nursing staff, the doctors and everything, they were really, really nice. Very thorough. Right in there for strike one. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jeremy Pena. He takes a timeout to adjust his bat and gloves. Why are their shirts so discombobulated? Here comes the next pitch. High and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike to the Flash. Come on there, Jeremy. He pops that one way up on the infield. Shortstop is over. And he gets it right behind the mound. So on a 3-1 pitch, Jeremy Pena flies out to the infield. Here's the lineup for today. After Jeremy Pena, we have Carlos Correa and then Jose Altuve. Altuve is a DH today. He's followed by Christian Walker, Yainer Diaz, who's catching today, and then Ramon Urias at second base. Mauricio Dubon is after that, batting 7th. First pitch is a strike to Correa. Batting 8th is Cam Smith. He's back in the game. Will be in right field. And then Chas McCormick in center field. If this lineup can have a hot game, then you know we've got it turned around, because we got a couple of guys in here that have not turned it around yet. 1 ball, 1 strike to Correa. Here comes the next pitch from Povich. Low and inside, ball 2. Yeah, Mr. Page, you're right about that. I don't have any faith in Presley right now, and he's even talking about retirement. This is grounded to third, scooped up by the third baseman, and he fires over and gets him out at first base for the second out of the inning. J. Paul says, Altuve, you are the father of what? Father of what? Speaking of Altuve, hear the boos coming in right now as he approaches the plate. Yeah, Brendan, I did see the Kimbrel signing. We've been lightly talking about it a little bit. First pitch he holds up, but it's a strike on the outside edge. 0-1 is the count to Tuve. Speaking of Altuve, I just received a few Jose Altuve baseball cards. One of those is going to be in my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. Altuve tries to bunt and misses. 0-2 is the count. I'm interested to see what you guys think of Kimbrel. I don't know how familiar you are with his career. Altuve hits that into center field. He lines out to the center fielder. Similar to yesterday, he drove a few out into the outfield, but nothing came of it. That's out number 3, a quiet first inning. Nothing as loud and proud as yesterday's first inning. And we've got Lance McCullers on the mound today. First time he's been back on the mound in a while. Fingers crossed, guys, that we see a new and improved Lance McCullers. I have a feeling deep inside, I don't know if it's wishful thinking or if it's intuition. But I kind of have this feeling / desire that the reason McCullers has been out for so long, the real reason, is because they've been reworking him, retooling him. And when he comes out, he's going to be lights out. How amazing would that be? Wouldn't that just shock everybody? It would also completely turn around the way we view our pitching staff going towards the playoffs, would it not? Astros might win 75% of their remaining games if McCullers is on. If Alexander remains dependable, if McCullers is on, Fromber can get it together, and Hunter Brown stays Hunter Brown. It's all good. Lance McCullers is now up on the mound after a short prayer. I'm going to have to make a fresh cup of coffee that got cold fast. Jackson Holiday, the little boy, is at the plate. First pitch is high and outside from McCullers. Going for 2 in a row indeed, Gregory. Death Before Dishonor checking in from San Antonio. Good to see you here, sir. Low and inside. Got the edge. Got the corner, but the umpire said, nah. 2 balls and no strikes. Here comes the next pitch. That's in there, but fouled off. The 91-mile-per-hour sinker. 2 balls and 1 strike. But yeah, I'm definitely with you on that, Mr. Page. I would not want Presley on the mound unless we were ahead by about 12 runs. Wow. That looked like it was also in the zone, but called a ball. Tight zone so far, 3-1. Here comes the pitch. Way outside and high. So a 5-pitch walk by McCullers to start off. 2 of those pitches were not on him. Jeremy Pena, you are not the father. You are not the father. Okay, I see what you're saying. These are the Maury Povich jokes. Good, good, good. That's a high-level joke. I like that. Almost missed it. Line drive to right field, scooped up by Cam. He bobbles it a little bit, but he's still able to get it in and hold the runner up. We have runners on first and second now. That's the first hit of the game. A walk, and then a first pitch single by Jeremiah Jackson. Gunnar Henderson is due out with 2 on in the first. DeLine wants to know if these are their regular jerseys. I think so. I think the light gray jerseys are their regular jerseys, aren't they? Here comes the next pitch. The first pitch, the knuckle curve is a little low to Gunner. J. Paul, yeah, I'd figure that out finally whenever I saw the other comment there by Death Before Dishonor. I didn't put two and two together. Chopper to Christian Walker, and he steps on the base for out number 1, but that advances the runners to second and third, 1 away. Yeah, these jerseys are not the City Connect jerseys. I wish they still sometimes wore the City Connect jerseys from last year. That's a strike at the bottom of the zone to Ryan Mountcastle. 0-1 is the count. I really, really hope they do not change the City Connect jerseys every year. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. Here's a pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 95-mile-per-hour sinker missing low and away. I kind of like that speed, though. If McCullers can throw a lot of pitches 95 and up, that'd be cool. Keep the movement on it. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Low and outside. The slider missing. 2-1. Yeah, DeLine, these are definitely not City Connect. Swing and a miss. Nice slider. He put that one right on the outside edge. Mountcastle went after it. Couldn't get it. That was perfectly placed. If that's where he's trying to put it, that was an ace-level pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, McCullers. Here comes the 2-2. He tries another slider, but the placement was too far outside. Full count. John says, don't forget Javier. Yeah, absolutely. I was just kind of talking about, because I believe that Javier is not having a problem. I believe that he's fine. I mean, he was sick, but, you know, in the dirt, and that one gets away. Bases are loaded. Ball 4. The ball got away, but Yiner did have to kind of get back there real quick and get it because Holiday was on third. He was not able to get there. McCullers ran to home plate. Good job by McCullers to actually cover the plate. But 2 walks, bases loaded with 1 out. Cowser at the plate, 83 miles an hour right in there on the knuckle curve, strike 1. Don't give up already, Jay. Gregory wants to know if we're going to see Crimbus? Crimbus. We're going to see him pitch tonight. I really don't know. I have no idea. 85 above the zone, 1-1 is the count to Cowser. We got bases loaded in the bottom of the first. The Orioles, those dirty birds, they're at the plate with 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes a pitch from McCullers. That was a nice slider. No, they say it was a knuckle curve. Wow, that looked more like a nice slider than a knuckle curve. But check swing, 2 balls and 1 strike. Jay says, I don't want to see 8 straight balls. Yeah, of course not. Nobody wants to see that. We'll see what McCullers we get today. We'll know after this inning, I think. Below the zone, 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 walks already. Can't blame it on the ump anymore. The first walk, a couple of those, the ump let us down. But since then, there hasn't been anything that close that the ump has called a ball. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. That's in there. Slider, strike 2. We have a full count. Colton Cowser, full count, 1 out, bases loaded. A double play to shut this inning down would be just what the doctor ordered. Swing and a miss. How about that? 84 mile per hour on the knuckle curve. Low and inside, perfectly placed. Picks up the K. Out number 2. That was a beautiful pitch, I have to say. Look at this. Can't complain about that pitch. This is where Lance lets us know whether we can have, or whether we deserve the extra faith. Whether he deserves the extra faith. 85 miles an hour slider right in there on the outside. Kobe Mayo at the plate with 1 strike, 2 outs, bases juiced. Walter got transferred to the 60-day IL. Yeah, that's no surprise. Swing and a miss. Singer at 94 mile per hour sinker. 0-2. John says the ump report yesterday favored Baltimore, looking like much of the same today. Yeah, so far it has tilted towards the O's. Swing and a miss! Les McCullers gets out of it with another strikeout, and he freaks out on the mound. Why am I so excited about a first inning? Wow, look at that. Yeah, look at him freaking out. Yeah, that's right, baby. That's the McCullers we get today right there. Well done, Lance McCullers. So that's why I didn't feel particularly stressed out right then. That gave me chills. Didn't that give you guys and girls chills? What a great start there. I mean, the first walk was not on him. That was on the ump. Clearly that was on the ump. The very next pitch he gave up a single. So just like that, 2 runners on with no outs. He gets a ground ball over to Walker. Walker on the big hop can't go anywhere. He can only step on the bag for 1 out. That moves the runners over to second and third with 1 out. After that, he does walk another guy, and that was on him. But he strikes out the next 2 batters to get out of it. So just 1 hit that inning, 0 runs. Now compare that to Fromber's first inning. This was a very interesting inning. But the fact that he locked it down and got out of it. Good job, Mr. McCullers. Texas Dave, hello from... I'm kind of in H-Town too. I'm in Hiroshima. So we're both in H-Town. You're in Houston Town. Houston. And I'm in Hiro Town. Happy Tuesday. Happy Today says, hi, Brandon. The Astros pitcher should be updated. Oh, really? Oh! I was wondering, but I did update it. I clicked on the wrong one. I actually did update it, but I clicked on the wrong portrait. Thank you for pointing that out. I really am sorry about that. Walker is at the plate, takes the first pitch for ball 1. Here comes the next toss. High and outside. 2-0. Here comes the next pitch. Long delay by Povich. Curveball in there in the bottom of the zone for a strike. Now, he wasn't giving those to the Astros. Just when we're batting. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the next pitch from Povich. Too far inside. 3-1. Here comes the next pitch. Bottom of the zone, 4-seam fastball. It looks like Christian Walker was taking it all the way to try to get a walk. Full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the toss to Mr. Walker. Strikes him out on a curveball below the zone. Could have taken that one. So the one pitch he could have taken for ball 4 he decides to swing at, and that's the result. Strike 3. Nobody's surprised to hear Christian Walker striking out at the plate. Let's see here. Yiner at the plate takes that first pitch for strike 1. As I'm trying to get the new portrait on the screen, he fouls that one away, 0-2. Next pitch on the way. In the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Do you recognize that guy in the bullpen right there? I mean the bullpen, the dugout. That's Bryce Matthews. Here comes the next pitch. Yiner has a little half swing, strikes out. 2 strikeouts in a row for Povich. Yiner Diaz, you are the striker. And so are you, Christian Walker. I'm getting the image changed happy today, by the way. And it just takes me a few minutes to get it done. Ramon Urias at the plate. Takes that first pitch in there for strike 1. And by the way, you said thanks. Good on you to be your own best advocate. Too many people just blindly trust doctors. Thank you very much. You know, it's not always easy. Sometimes they say stuff that just scares the crap out of you. My mom marched all the way to her grave listening to doctors because they were just scaring her over and over and over again. She did everything that they said to do. They destroyed her quality of life, and she died early. If I can't figure out how to handle my situation, I'll die even earlier than she did. Pretty crazy to think about. My grandmother didn't make it to 70. My mom didn't make it to 60. I barely made it to 50. So far, who knows what will happen. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Fouled off, low and inside. I'm just tired of hearing people get cancer. I think that cancer is something that is unnecessary. We already have the knowledge that we need to eliminate cancer completely, but you know they're never going to as long as we allow them to make money from it. Here's a 1-2 pitch in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some of you have privately shared some difficulties with me and expressed how much this channel has meant to you and helping you gain some more joy in your life and deal with some difficulties, and I appreciate that very much. 93 on the outside. Foul tip into the glove of the catcher. That's another strikeout. So Walker, Diaz, and Urias, 3 right-handers, go down to the left-hander, 1, 2, 3 in the second inning. The Astros come up with nothing. We go into the bottom of the second. Mari Povich back on the mound. Or back off the mound, rather. McCullers back on the mound. I should have his image created. Let me check. Yeah. I got it. I just need to add his name. I see we got a lot of comments in the chat. I'll get to those as soon as I get done with this portrait. I apologize for the delay. trying to get McCullers' picture made here. I think I've got it. Yeah, this came out pretty nice. This is a good picture. I think you guys are going to like this portrait that I had made for McCullers. There we go. Just need to download it. All right, McCullers back on the mound. He's facing Dylan Beavers, the according to the Fox analysts, he is the the Orioles home run, the big home run bopper. That's what they said. All right. While I'm trying to get the portrait for McCullers, the count has moved up just now to strike 2. So that's 1-2 on Mr. Beavers, the big home run bopper. Curveball almost in the dirt, 2-2. Good news is I finally have Lance McCullers' picture, so I can update that. Boom. Next pitch is fouled off. Count remains 2-2. Okay. All right, there we go. I got McCullers' picture updated on the screen. How's that? Nice, powerful picture, similar to what he just did. Strike 3. Strikeout for Lance. A nice juicy K. Curveball low and inside. Beavers can't handle it. He takes his stick and he tries to build a dam, but a river runs through it. Womp womp. Luis Vasquez at the plate. 93 up and in. Fouls it off. Strike 1. All right, let's see what I'm missing. Yeah, Nomad, you're right. I just needed to change. For some reason, I glanced over my images, and I put Arrighetti in there, not because I thought it was Arrighetti, but I have a collection. I have a folder of pictures. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside. Beautiful slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Vasquez. 1 out, nobody on. And I just quickly clicked on that picture, thinking it was McCullers. I was wrong. This one's a high chopper. Going to be hard for Correa. No throw to first base. He decided not to try a throw to first base. Probably a good idea. Didn't want to throw it away. It's crazy how a ball can bounce that high off the dirt. You know what I'm saying? That'll be another hit, but that ball must have bounced like 20 feet in the air. 1 out, 1 runner on. Here comes the first pitch to the next one, Alex Jackson. Misses the zone for ball 1. Yeah, so far it has been a decent outing. Mr. Elbow. Right in there, 93 mile per hour sinker, 1-1 to Jackson. I don't know. Good old-fashioned McCullers. I don't, unless you're talking about the old-timey strikeout McCullers. Looks like we got that guy. There's another strike. Speaking of strikes, 85 on the outside edge. 1-2 is the count to Jackson. I keep wanting to say Alan Jackson. How dare you throw a strike to me? I don't even know if that's what Alan Jackson sounds like. I don't listen to Alan Jackson. I just know he's It's a country singer. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. He fouls that one off, or is it going to be in play? Cam Smith is over there. He doesn't have room for it, though. It bounces off the net. Count remains 1-2. Shrewdly, here we go again. Most of our starters have the first inning trouble. Yeah, but you know what? At least he got out of it. He buckled down. You're right, but he got out of it. Well, maybe Crispy. That's one of the reasons I was speculating. Maybe why he had the extended break. It wasn't just injury. It was about reworking his mechanics. That's the way I felt. Fouled off the plate. The count remains 1-2. As long as he doesn't have command, then yes, his pitches are a wild card. You're absolutely right about that. But I'm hopeful and believing that has turned around for McCullers. We are in the bottom of the second. The umpire looks like he got thumped. I think it got him in the arm, in the left arm, left hand. He's trying to work it out. Now, this is the hand that I used to pull the lever at the casino. What am I supposed to do now? That's exactly what he was complaining about. Are you okay? Are you going to be able to continue the game? The game? What are you talking about, the game? What are you guys talking about? Baseball? I'm just worried. I'm just worried about the casino lever. I'm worried about my slots. Let's get this going. Come on. We got time. You know, we ain't got time for this. Let's go. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Jackson. Long delay by McCullers. Runner is going. Strike 3. And did he get him? They say he was safe. I don't know about that. Ramon Urias grabs the throw. It was not a great throw, but he puts the tag on. Let's take another look at that. Beautiful pitch by McCullers. Gets the strikeout. Whoa, he looks like he might have been out. Did he get that tag on? I don't know. I guess they're not going to look at it. They're not going to challenge it. Runner on second with 2 outs. The child, Jackson Holliday, is at the plate. Here comes the first pitch to him. Knuckle curve outside, ball 1. Let's leave 3 on base. Yes, we did. That's exactly what we did. We left 3 on base. Everybody's happy about that. It was a perfect pitch, Shrewdly. You're right about that. Woo, just a little outside. Slider misses 2-0 to Holliday. 2 outs, 2 balls. Runner on 2. Here comes the toss. Change up. Goes low and away for ball 3, 3-0. He's trying to get him to swing at that, but I think he could have just delivered a strike there. Next pitch way outside a 4-pitch walk. Now that's not good. 4-pitch walk to Jackson Holliday. Nothing competitive to swing at. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Another walk. Another walk. 1 on the umpire, 2 on McCullers. Birds don't like jelly. That's right. Crispy says, questionable method, but good result. Oh, the method is not bad. Well, it's been... When it does what he wants it to do, it's perfect, right? Jeremiah Jackson. Jeremiah Jackson batter. I apologize for that. First pitch is fouled off for strike 1. 0-1 is the count with 2 runners on, 2 outs. McCullers trying to get out of the second here with no damage. That was a beautiful looking pitch. I don't know how he didn't go after it. It scooted outside, 1-1. Yeah, Crispy. Great game yesterday, Sanchez. 5 for 5, but you're getting benched today. Good job, Espada. Fouled off at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Shrewdly. Yordan Alvarez is tearing it up right now in AAA. He's got singles, doubles, even a stolen base. In 2 games, he is just destroying them. Yeah, he's looking great. He's playing left field in Corpus today. Nice. Go to the game, stay out there in left field, yell at him, haggle him. That pitch is way outside and low. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Can you imagine being a big Astros fan and loving Yordan, but going to the minor league game and heckling him? What do you think you're doing out there? You ain't no left fielder. Just hit the ball, big boy. Low in the zone, fouled off by Jackson. The count remains even, 2-2. Yeah, unfortunately, it is Christian Striker right now. Yeah, Gregory, when there's a 3-0 count and everybody's auto take, I can't stand that. But I also can't stand swinging at a terrible ball 4. An obvious ball 4, that's also annoying. Got to have some discipline. Fouled off again. That was right in there. A good pitch, but he got the bat on it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. McCullers' pitch count is climbing up a little bit. This next one will be his 50th pitch of the game. He's trying to get that 3rd out right now. Yep, Jay, you're right. Don't get me started. There's no profit in a cure. 100%. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. This is a grounder to Urias. He fires to first. A little low, but it's scooped up by Walker for out number 3. After a little bit of a struggle, McCullers gets out of the inning. No damage done. But pitching this style right now, McCullers will only be able to last 4 innings. Throwing 25 pitches per inning. 25 pitches per inning. He's going to be pulled out at the end of the 4th. So McCullers will pitch 4 innings today, guys. Yeah, but you know what, Crispy, I have a feeling that we're going to be able to hit this guy, and the reason is because the Astros did do their scouting report on Young, Brandon Young. He destroyed them the first time he faced them, but then they did their scouting on him, and they adjusted, and they destroyed him. I think the same thing can happen with Povich today. I don't know to what level of scouting they did before this game about Povich. Remember, they did score some runs against him. Not a lot of runs, but they did score some against him last time. So what I was hoping is that they would add a little bit more information with their hitters about Povich so that we could improve on last time. And I was expecting us to score a ton of runs on this guy just for that reason. There's the results of Yordan's recent performances. A walk, 3 doubles, 5 for 8, and a stolen base. Great performance so far for Yordan. You guys want to bet that he has a blast in his next game? Very possible. Mauricio Dubon at the plate, 91 miles an hour above the zone, ball 1. Happy today, he says, same with my dad, mother. Had my dad improving wonderfully from lung cancer. Then the doctor called with a miracle pill that enriched the doctor and destroyed my dad. So stay strong. Yep. And I know that not every doctor... 2 balls and no strikes with that pitch to Dubon. Here comes the next one. That's too far inside. 3-0. Good takes by Doobie. I know that not every doctor is focused primarily on profit. But sometimes, even especially here in Japan, they just don't understand a person's situation. Right in there for strike one, 3-1. There are a lot of things that I could say about that, but my doctor, he basically thinks your situation is terminal, so why are you trying to think that you can win, you can beat it? That's literally his thinking. He laughs when I talk about doing supplements or compression socks or changing my diet and actually trying to heal myself. He laughs. He literally laughs about that because he thinks it's silly, thinks it's wishful thinking. What kind of a doctor is that? You know what I'm saying? 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dubon. Let's see if he swings the bat here on a good pitch or if he takes the bad pitch. Here comes the 3-2 from Povich after a long delay. High and outside. There we go. So Dubon does the right thing. He lays off on a bad pitch outside and gets the walk. Leadoff runner for the Astros. Maury Povich, you are the problem. Povich, you are getting lit up. Cam Smith at the plate. First pitch, 93, right on the inside edge. Fastball, strike one. Cell type B. Pitch itch. What is that? Too far inside on that sinker. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cam Smith. Doobie on first, no outs. And I will do my best to stay strong. Thank you, Happy. Next pitch on the way. No, he goes over to first base. Doobie is back. Yeah, you're right, Elbow. At least McCullers is getting some work. Angel, I salute you, man of culture. Can we win 2 in a row? Absolutely. Yes, we can. Here comes the pitch. Wow. 79-mile-per-hour curveball. Cam went after it. Couldn't touch it. I think my daughter could hit a 79-mile-per-hour curveball right in the middle of the plate. It's just my guess. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Too far inside. 2-2. Patrick, the doctor basically said that right now he does not see any reason to be worried about a PE, a pulmonary embolism, although I still do have shadows that suggest cancer metastasis, but like I said earlier, that's not new information. That's fouled off right into the camera well. Almost hit Julia, the Space City reporter. Yeah, that hit the netting right in front of her. They move her around a lot because sometimes it seems like she's a magnet for those foul balls. 2-2 pitch, high and outside, full count. So the Astros are making Mr. Povich work a little bit now. He's now over 40 pitches. Mike, yes and no. Japan's healthcare is far better than America because of price and fairness and how they charge people. This is grounded to third, a chopper. There's no play at second. He overthrows it. Cam is safe at first base. Man, as soon as that came out of his hand, I saw that was way too high. Nice. We have runners on first and second. Yeah, Cam put his head down. He didn't even look. He just ran as fast as he could, and he was safe. Vasquez threw it way up in the air. No chance for them to get the out, thanks to Cam's speed. Chas McCormick, is he going to bunt? We're going to take bets if Chas is going to bunt. The league leader in sacrifices. He shows bunt. He does. He puts it down. He gets the sacrifice down. The throw goes wild. It goes into right field. Look at that. Cam Smith goes over to third. Doobie scores. 1-0. That's what you call Chasmanian luck. The Chasmanian luck right there. Runners on first and third with no outs. Heck yes. Beautiful. Chaz gets the perfect bunt down. No play anywhere but first base. The throw from Povich goes way off to the left and into right field. Dubon can jog home, and Cam jogs over to third. Wow. How do you like that? Chas McCormick. 2 errors for the Orioles back to back. 2 throwing errors. Now they were saying, the Astros commentators were saying that still should have been caught, because even though it was a bad throw, he got his glove on it. I think he was just too surprised and wasn't expecting it to tell that much, but still. 1-0. How about this, guys? The Flash is up at the plate with runners on first and third, no outs. Come on, Flash. Big hit right here. Outside, ball 1. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you so much. He says, congrats on the 1K. You deserve it. Very nice person. You're wonderful, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you. Here comes the 1-0 count to Pena. Whoo, 78 at the bottom of the zone. Another swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. This is fouled off. 83 on the outside. The changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Crispy wants to know, can they just call up Jordan? They keep showing how great he is in the minors. The Astros have waited long enough. Yeah, but I know the answer to that, actually, because they talked with the Astros about that. And they said, well, listen, it doesn't matter what he's doing in the minors. We have a protocol, and he has to go through that protocol so that he's not rushed to come back. So it makes sense. That ball was way outside, the curveball, but not competitive. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pena. 2 hits for the Astros, 1 run on the board, runners on the corners, no outs. Here's the 2-2. Oh, it's crushed to left field all the way out to the wall. It's gone! A line drive home run for Jeremy Pena. A 3-run shot. He does it. Pena comes up with the big hit. And we have blown up the game 4-0 on a line drive. A very standard line drive home run by Jeremy Pena. If that's not Jeremy Pena style, I don't know what is. That ball got out quick. 4-0 with 3 hits on the board. Look at that. Boom. Nice curveball. That's that curveball I was talking about earlier. I said my daughter could hit that. Pena's like, oh yeah? I can hit it further than your daughter can. I believe it. Carlos Correa, he wants his turn. He's at the plate. And yeah, there we go. Get down, get down. Yes, it does. He can't handle it. Right fielder slides down. Was that Jackson? Is that Jackson out there? Opposite field line drive. Yeah, that's Jackson. A nice sliding attempt on that one. Goes in his glove. Now the crowd is booing. That's what I like. The Orioles crowd is now booing already. A sliding attempt on that catch. He couldn't come up with it. Correa's on first base with no outs, and the crowd is booing. Good job, Baltimore. You are some awesome fans. Jose Altuve hits his turn. He's at the plate. He goes after the first pitch. The changeup bounces it foul. 0-1. Yeah, and I think the simple answer with Cam is who else are they going to put in there? 94 or 90 mile an hour fastball at the top of the zone. Altuve swipes at it and loses his helmet. 0-2 is the count. Steel Viper with the awesome super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Welcome in. Good to see you. Here comes the next pitch. Altuve fouls it off down the third baseline. Thank you for that awesome super chat, Mr. Steel Viper. I really appreciate that. And that reminds me of something I'll tell you guys about at the break. Please remind me if I do not tell you, but I think I will remember. Altuve fouls this one off again. The count remains 0-2. I misspoke earlier. I thought that the Astros were at 3 hits. They actually only have 2. 2 hits and 4 runs on the board. I think one of the Orioles kids out there got that ball, and he was looking around like, am I supposed to keep it or throw it back? He wound up keeping it. Woo! Almost got Altuve on the inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch count is on the screen, Manuel. It's on the left side. Inside that orange box in the middle of the screen, it's on the left side. Altuve bounces that one to short. It might be a double play, and it is. This time they actually throw the ball well to first base. That's 2 down. It's nice to see that that's not an inning-ending double play, but I still don't want to see the double play. The Astros are basically leading the majors and grounding into double plays. They got to figure out how to fix that. Yeah, J. Paul, but let's benefit from it. It's nice to see the Astros actually take advantage. Walker at the plate. First pitch is just a little high, ball 1. Walker could tack on a blast, put us out of Grand Slam distance, you know what I'm saying? 5 innings ahead is the minimal that you want to be, right? 79 mile per hour curveball, top of the zone. Strike 1, 1-1 is the count. Casey Jones says, let's go. Here's the next pitch. Hit high in the air. Is it going to be playable? No, it's going to sail into the crowd. 1-2 is the count. Yes, Patrick, thank you very much. That is awesome news. I mean, it's about the best I can hope for right now. I mean, if they had scanned my lungs and said, I don't see any shadows, any spots at all, that would have been the best news. Because that would have meant that whatever was there before has gone away. That would be the best news. But it hasn't gotten worse, and that's very important. Here's the pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Walker. Yeah, and Tucker right now, shrewdly, not only that, speaking of Tucker, he's basically been benched recently, right? He's struggling. Here's the 2-2 pitch. He fouls that one down the third baseline. The count remains 2-2. Kid says that was some playoff action right there. You're right. You're absolutely right. It felt like that. This game has felt like that. The first inning with McCullers on the mound felt like a playoff situation. The lie detector determined that was a lie. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again. 2-2. Count remains. I like all these Maury Povich references. It's probably going over the head of a lot of people if they're not listening. Still Viper, yes, all has gone well today and yesterday. I'm glad that you were able to join. Hope you're not working too hard. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, another strikeout. Walker drops his bat in disgust and slams his helmet down. Terrible swing. Look how bad this swing is. Oh no, that's Jeremy Pena's home run. That's a perfect swing. Jeremy Pena puts 3 runs on the board for the Astros. The Astros score another run on a throwing error. 4-0 in the top of the third. We're going into the bottom of the third. Maury Povich is finished for the inning. Lance McCullers Jr. back up on the mound with 50 pitches shoved into his bottomless pockets. 28 of those are strikes. Now look at those numbers. I think that's amazing. He has thrown an ungodly amount of strikes considering he's got some walks. 28 of 50 pitches are strikes. That's pretty crazy. McCullers has 3 walks, but he's thrown 28 of 50 as strikes. That's amazing right there. Absolutely amazing. But you know what? Cam is a young guy, and I think that if they continue investing time in him and giving him time, he could be a really, really important piece. But I'll tell you what, if we could sign him right now, we would get a huge discount. I mean, it might work out for the Astros' benefit. I mean, if you really think about it, the way he's performing right now, if they go ahead and decide to sign him, they could get a huge discount. And then he starts performing really, really well. It's a huge win. It's like a double win, you know? Win-win. Yeah, if they're I do think that's a good point, Crispy. Crispy says one way to fix the double plays is to try stealing a bag. I'd rather get out on the stealing rather than them giving out free double plays all the time. Yeah, if they've got some guys on base who have the speed to try to steal, maybe they could work on that. If we could increase our stolen bag attempt by at least 50%, I'd be happy with that. I'd back that. I agree with you. Yeah, Altuve's slump continues. Man, the good thing is that he is getting a lot of contact. He's just not putting it in places where it can drop or get out of the park, you know. First pitch from McCullers. Low for ball 1. They had a little delay because it seemed like there was some kind of technical issue with the Astros. I don't know what it was. On the outside edge, the slider called strike 1. 1-1 is the count. Yeah, J. Paul, there's a pitch count on the left side of the screen. You see the baseballs? Here comes the next pitch. Bounced foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You see the area that shows the runners on base, the little rectangle there. Look up just to the upper left of that. It's right there. Maybe it's too small. Gunnar Henderson hits that one out into right field for a single. Leadoff batter. The third hit off of McCullers today. They're comparing numbers between Hunter Brown and Jason Alexander at the moment. Opponent's batting average is only 176 with Alexander compared to 218 with Hunter Brown. Slugging percentage is lower with Alexander. Opponent's OPS is lower with Alexander. Unbelievable. He's really getting it done. 91 miles an hour above the zone to Ryan Mountcastle. 1-0 is the count. Oh, you mean a pitch counter? Ah, I see. You're the number of pitches you're talking about. I see. You can see it on the screen right there in the bottom right. You see it right there? Whenever I show the highlights, you might be able to see it. Because the Space City Network puts it on the screen. Right now it's 57 with that pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mountcastle. Henderson on first base. Here's the next pitch. 83 on the outside, fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on that slider. Yeah, I actually don't have the number of pitches on the screen. I'm not sure that I can get that stat. I might be able to get it. I'll check on it later on. It hasn't It didn't seem to be a priority to me to even consider that. But the thing is, with the pitch count, it's well, I mean, it's not a stat that you need updated super fast, but to have a general idea of how many pitches he has is good. But that's the reason why I say it often, what the pitch count is, so you guys and gals will know. Here comes the next pitch. This is grounded to third. They go for two, create a second, over to first base, and scooped up, and they get it. Arias with a low throw to first base, but it was a quick transfer. I'm surprised they were able to get it. But Correa and Urias, man, this is a pro double play, guys, because that ball was not a fast hit ball. It was a bouncer. Look at this. And a nice scoop by Walker. How about that? Bases wiped. Reset. 60 pitches now for McCullers. First delivery to Colton Cowser. Up and away, ball one. Walker's anger. Maybe stop striking out. 91 up and in, just misses the strike zone. 2-0 to Cowser. Aerosmith, it's amazing. That's right. It's amazing. Here comes the 2-0. Up the middle, but scooped up by Pena. What a grab. Did you see that? Right through McCullers' legs. And that ball jumped up on Pena, and he reacted like only the Flash can. And caught an amazing snatch. Boom! Threw it to first base and got the third out. Man, that's awesome right there. In case you didn't know this, the Astros are actually league leaders in defensive outs, defensive play. Of course, you've got pitching as part of your defense, but separately, you have fielding. And the Astros are consistently rated high in their fielding. That's one thing that they typically have on lockdown, is their infield D. And man, that double play, Correa to Urias, Urias to Walker, from beginning to end, pro level. Now, Urias made a low throw that was in the dirt to Walker, but his catch and relay to first was elite. And Walker made the elite catch, but Correa made the elite grab and gun to second base. I mean, it was just elite, elite, elite. And then Pena would not be left out of the party. He makes a great catch on a very difficult hop. Man, I love watching the Astros play defense. Can you guys and gals imagine what kind of a slump the Astros would have been in if their defense were like the Bad News Bears? Regardless, we go into the top of the fourth. Yainer Diaz due up to face Mr. Povich. Yainer Diaz, you are the leadoff batter. 4-0. 2 hits for the Stros, 3 hits for the O's. 2 errors for the Blackbirds. Ken says, I get nervous when Lance enters the third inning. His first 2 he does great, then by the third no one knows where his fastball's going. Even the bat boys get nervous. Well, today it's kind of been opposite, right? He started off way out of control. Locked it in. Well, I wouldn't say way out of control, but having some issues. But he locked it in. And then in the third inning, he looked great. 1 hit, double play, grounder. Perfect. 1 ball, 1 strike to Yainer. 63 pitches now for Mr. Povich. He pitches pretty good to be an old TV show host. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Diaz. Here comes the next toss. That misses 2-2. Elbow says, just realize your feed is way ahead of mine. Really? I always wonder about that because, you know, I'm in Japan, so I don't know what the delay is. Hey, strike 3. Yainer Diaz, you are the victim. That was a perfectly placed pitch. That's what we call a perfectly placed pitch. Ramon Urias at the plate. Takes that first pitch outside for ball 1. Manuel says the good news is that McCullers has gotten a lot of time to rest between innings. Yeah, that might extend him. Maybe he can throw 120 pitches tonight. Swing and a miss on the curveball. 1-1 is the count. Urias, you're 0 for 1. Make it 1 for 2, baby. Come through, Uriasu. Low and inside in the doit. 2 balls and 1 strike. The line says, man. Yeah, that's right. Great defense. The guys look good. Absolutely, they do. McCullers, LM, bringing the fire to the Astros. He should do good. He's doing good so far. Fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yep, Walker's got the gold glove when it comes to scoops, catching line drives, catching bad throws, stuff like that. He is one of the best. If the play becomes more complicated, he starts to break down. Hey, look at this. A little loop off the fists. How about that? Urias is on base. He uses the pitching wedge to go out into left field. 93 up and in off the fist. You can see right off his hands almost. Pulls out the pitching wedge. Goes into left field. Golfs it over there. We have a 1-run runner on. Doobie walked his last at bat. He's at the plate. He goes after that first pitch and flies it into right field, and he shows his disgust immediately. And that's out number 2. Yeah, Elbow, Walker's a good defender. Like I said, I'm not impressed with his ability to handle complicated defensive plays. But if it's very straightforward, he's very solid. But if you throw him any type of curveball, and I'm not talking about his batting, then he starts to break down. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Cam Smith at the plate. The fastball on the outside edge. He can't touch it. That's strike 1. Two outs. Urias on first base. Here comes the pitch. A little low and outside. 1-1. It seems that every time there's a complicated play, like for example, if there's a bouncer to first base and he's going to try to step on first and then throw to second, for example, that's a compound play, and he usually struggles with those. But if it's a line drive that bounces right in front of his face, he can catch it no problem. 2 balls and 1 strike to Cam Smith. Dirty Bird Povich. Dirty Perdvich. 92 in the bottom of the zone. A little bit of contact by Cam. He fouls it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think a home run would be a great way for Cam to break out of his slump. He needs at least a double, a triple, or a homer to instill a little bit of extra confidence in him right now. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count remains. It's nice to see Walker getting the bat on the ball, though. We got over 100 people watching today. That's a nice improvement over yesterday. If you have not liked the live stream, I appreciate you doing that right now. Thank you in advance. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I've got a giveaway coming up really soon. This is hit on the ground to third base, and he goes to second base to get Urias, and that's going to end the inning right there. Ground out, or fielder's choice, rather, by Cam Smith. The Astros don't get anything extra in the fourth, but thanks to the big third, we have a 4-0 lead going into the bottom of the fourth. 3 hits for each team, the Astros and the O's. 2 errors, one of those very costly for the Birds. No errors for the solid defense. Solid gold defense. Solid gold defense on the Astros side. Oh, by the way, I just realized I got a coffee song. I got a coffee break song. I forgot. I haven't downloaded it. My coffee break song. I'm about to make some more coffee. Okay, guys, I'm going to play you my coffee break song. Probably won't be. I'm going to make some more coffee right now, so you're not going to be able to hear the whole song, but I'll play some of it for you. How about that? Hang on a second. Let me get it started.
Get up from the chair to make some coffee. So this is the coffee break song. There isn't much time between each inning. I gotta hurry 'cause I don't have long. It's the coffee break song. This is my coffee break song. It's a song meant for coffee breaks. It matters how long it takes, 'cause if I miss a pitch, my viewers just might ditch. Get water from the well, put it on to boil, and now prepare.
All right, that's about all the time we have right there. That's about all the time we have right now. McCullers is back on the mound. First pitch on the way, low and inside. By the way, I wrote all of the lyrics to that song. I wanted to make it as silly as possible. Next pitch on the way. Kobe Mayo at the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. The first one too far inside. The second one too far outside. 66 pitches on that one. Outside again. 3 straight balls. What's going on with you, McCullers? Here comes the 3-0. That's a strike. Kobe Mayo started walking towards first base. He thought that was going to be a ball, but that was in the zone, my friend. And he calls timeout. Was my coffee break song appropriately ridiculous? I hope so. Here's the 3-1. Too far inside. That is an obvious ball 4. Leadoff runner is on base for the O's. Can Cam? Cam can't. They took the Astros car to the shop and they said, you got a problem with your cam. Here comes the first pitch to the next batter, Mr. Dylan Beavers. He says, you went around, boy. Strike 1. Got him on the knuckle curve. The knuckle swerve. If I were a pitcher, that's what I would do, just to annoy the people who put up the stats on the screen. I would change the names of all my pitches. That next pitch is right in there for strike 2. I would call my curve a swerve. It's not a curve, it's a swerve. In the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes on that knuckle swerve. I would call it the stinker, the swiffer, the quick ball. Here's the pitch. 87. The changeup goes way outside. What would I call the changeup? The switcheroo. That's what I would call it. It's not a changeup. Why do you call it a changeup? It's a switcheroo. Switcheroo pitch. Here's the 2-2. The knuckle swerve outside, full count. Thanks, Crispy. This song I actually wrote and made with the AI tool. This one's way outside again. Another walk, a full count walk by McCullers this time. We now have 2 runners on. Back-to-back walks. McCullers up to 74 pitches, and that's going to draw another walk from Josh Miller out to the mound. That's the 3rd walk of the inning. 3rd walk right there. First walk by McCullers, guy on first. Second walk by McCullers, guy on first and second. 3rd walk by McCullers, pitching coach to the mound. Yeah, Crispy, that short coffee break song that I played the other day is actually from a TV show. I think one of you mentioned in the chat, you mentioned Coach McGurk, the guy that does the voice for Coach McGurk in home movies. He also does Bob and Bob's Burgers. I meant to reply to that. If you're here in the chat and you're the one who mentioned that, I apologize for not responding. I saw that. Just got busy with the game, I think. Got distracted, didn't get a chance to respond. 0-1 is the count. Swing and a miss. Vasquez at the plate. Here's the pitch. Inside, fouled off. 0-2. Well, if Lance McCullers were a comic book character, I named some of our guys after comic book characters. Woo, man, that could have been a strike 3 right there. Lower outer corner on the knuckle swerve. Look how close this was. Didn't miss by much. Here comes the next pitch. On the inside, fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I guess if you say that McCullers is a character from a comic book, you could call him Two-Face, right? Sometimes Two-Face decides on the moment based on a coin flip, so you never know what you're going to get. This is hit into right field, should be an out. Cam is underneath it. Fake tag at second base. Mayo goes back to second base. 1 away. Maybe later on I can play the rest of the song for you guys so you can hear the end of it. It's a cute song. Man, this is good. Oh yeah, that's good coffee right there. Alex Jackson at the plate, and he lines it through the left side. That's going to be waving around the runner. Here's the throw, too late. 4-1. Very first pitch line drive hit to left field gives the Orioles their first run of the game. Runners on first and second. Alan Jackson with a hit to the left field. Alex Jackson, actually. The throw came in from Dubon. It just wasn't close enough. I think even if the throw had been on, he probably would have been in there. Unless it was just a perfect throw, but it looks like he beat it. He bunts it foul. Holy cow. With 1 out, they're trying to bunt. Jackson Holiday trying to lay down the bunt. Correa was playing a little bit deep over at third base, and he was trying to lay it down the third base line. Let's see if he tries again, because Correa hasn't come in. Here's the pitch. No, he does not. Takes that pitch outside. 1-1. Well, Ken, he hasn't lost it yet. He can still pull it together. Ground ball to right side. Walker bobbles it when he goes to second. That's exactly what I was talking about. Do you see? Walker did exactly what I was talking about. That was a double play attempt. Walker got the ball at first base. He tried to grab it and throw it to second for a double play, and he bobbled it. So they only get one out at first base. Take a look. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is a compound play. See that? 2 outs. This is hit into right center field. It's pretty deep. Cam Smith is back, and he can't make the catch. It's off his glove. 2 runs are going to score. Cam made a jumping attempt at the warning track, and it bounced either off of or out of his glove. What should have been out number 3 turns into 2 runs for the Orioles. It's 4-3. That was really disappointing right there. Yeah, it went in and out of his glove. He wasn't sure where the wall was, I think, and it got to him. He wasn't able to focus. Runner on second with 2 outs. Right in there. Strike 1 to Jack. No, that's Gunnar Henderson at the plate, not Holiday. Here comes a pitch. Outside. Oh, called a strike. I thought it was a little too far outside, but it's 0-2. Well, we still have a 1-run lead, so that's good. 0-2. McCullers comes right back with 2 strikes. Let's see if he gets serious right here at 86th pitch of the game. This is grounded straight to Pena. He fires over to first base. Out number 3. All right. 3rd out. For some reason, there's no error. They don't give Christian Walker an error. But you know what? I don't blame this inning on McCullers. I blame those 2 runs. Not even on the failed catch by Cam Smith. That was a difficult catch. I blame it on Christian Walker. We had a double play ball, and Christian Walker fumbled it. And let's back up. Remember earlier we were talking about Christian Walker being a gold glove. And I've already said it so many times in so many different videos, but he just proved exactly what I was talking about. If the ball is a line drive and it bounces right in front of him or it goes over his head, he's able to catch it. If it's a terrible throw from somebody at second or short or third base, he's able to catch it. Any quick plays like that have just one goal, catch the ball, then he's able to do it. Dive and catch it, jump and catch it, scoop it out of the dirt, no problem for Christian Walker. But when the play becomes more complicated, a compound play, then he breaks down, he fumbles. And that's exactly what he did. He just proved exactly what I was saying earlier. He got the ground ball. We had a double play opportunity. All he had to do was go to second, and then they would throw it back to first base. And what did he do? He picked up the ball, and before he could throw it to second, he fumbled it and dropped it. And then he had to settle for going to first base to get 1 out. And instead of having the inning over, we had an extra batter. And what happened? Gave up 2 runs. I don't blame anybody in that inning for those 2 runs except for except for Christian Walker. I don't necessarily believe that Sanchez would have had that. He might have. He might have. Chas McCormick is at the plate. He reached on a sacrifice bunt error. Sanchez is pretty good at catching the ball over the wall, but maybe if he didn't care too much about his safety, then maybe he would have caught that. But I think Cam was a little worried about where the wall was. That pitch is below the zone, a swing and a miss, 0-2 to Chas McCormick. The Astros need to start putting some more runs on the board. Brendan says, please no extra inning today, please God. Yes, I just want the Astros to win this game handily. Here's the pitch. This is hit hard to left field, left center field. Pretty deep. Gonna be right at the track, right at the wall. Wow. That's more than 400 feet, I think. Almost. 393, they said. That's the estimate. 393 feet. Speaking of hitting it far, Jeremy Pena comes to the plate. 3 of the Astros' 4 runs. McCullers might be done. They've got the bullpen going for the Astros. First pitch to Pena on the way. 92 right in there. Strike 1. 1 out. Sean Dubin is warming up in the bullpen. Let's hope we get good Dubin. Yeah, Cam just can't. So far today, Cam just can't. He can't be bothered. Pena rips this one to third. He bobbles it, and he throws it over to first. And they say they got him. I don't know about that. Okay. They said that Pena didn't come out of the batter's box as quickly as he normally does. Yeah, if he had been able to get out of the batter's box quicker, he would have been safe. But he barely gets thrown out despite the bobble at third base, so we're given an opportunity, but Pena got out of the box too slowly. That brings up Carlos Correa with no runners on and 2 outs. Maybe it's Correa's turn to get a big hit. First pitch is in the dirt, bounces away. Ball 1. Drambam. Well, he didn't. He didn't get the guy at second. Are you talking about the double play opportunity? He should have. That was a standard play. Right in there. 79 mile per hour swerve. Swerve ball. 1-1 is the count to Correa. 85 pitches now for Mr. Cade Maripovich. Here comes the next pitch. The 1-1. Correa fouls it off. Bounces it down the third base side. Harmlessly. They're playing Master of Puppets in Camden right now. Dubin's still warming up. Seems pretty assured that McCullers will not be back in the 5th inning. Unsurprising. His pitch count's way too high. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Correa. High. Speaking of high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, if you go back and look at it, Drambam, he could have easily had him at second base. It wasn't close. The runner was not going. That would have been a double steal. There was no double steal at the time, I don't think. Just based on the location of the runner from the replay. If he had not dropped the ball, he would have easily been able to make that throw, or he should have been anyway. 3 balls now and 2 strikes. Correa takes a timeout. Come on, Correa. Comes the 3-2 pitch outside. Correa walks. So Povich is not able to have an easy inning. Full count walk. Carlos Correa works the count. Highest all-time batting average at Camden Yards belongs to Jose Altuve. He bats .379 here. Got a nice amount of home runs. It'd be nice to see another one right here. He takes the first pitch all the way in the bottom of the zone, strike 1. Change up. The switcheroo. Yeah, look at this. Bo Bichette's batting .378. He's batting .379 here. Next pitch up and in. Fouls it off. 0-2 is the count. Altuve really needs to break through. He hasn't been getting results, but he hasn't been batting very poorly either. He's managed to get past those massive amounts of strikeouts, but he just keeps hitting it in play. How about just hitting it over the fence? How about that? Hit it to where nobody can get it. Too far inside. Ball one. 1-2. A little 2-out magic would be nice, Happy. You're right. Make them pay. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes a pitch to Altuve. Oh, in the dirt. Almost hit him. Holy cow. How in the world did Jackson catch that ball? Look how far ahead that bounced. In the grass. That changeup bounced in the grass and he was able to catch it. What a great catch by the catcher. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 93 pitches now for Povich. Here comes the next one. Come on, Tuve. Nope, he goes over to first base. Just a little check to reset the pitch clock. Orioles got a pitcher going. It looks like Hector Neris. They got a guy warming up in the bullpen. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Outside, good take. The curveball misses high and outside. Altuve starts off 0-2, and he hasn't seen any good pitches since then. Full count. Come on, Altuve, be a homer. Here's the toss. If he fouls that one off, bounces it down the third baseline. Count remains full. Exciting moment right here. Very important moment for the Astros. Runner on first, Correa on first. Full count to Altuve with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Here's the toss. This is hit hard into left field. It'll be down. It's not a homer, but it keeps the inning going, and it moves Correa to second base. And that snaps an 0-for-16 streak for Altuve. His streak about half as bad as Sanchez's streak was, right? I think Sanchez was about 0-for-30 or 0-for-32 or something like that. 38. It was pretty bad. And then he comes back with a 5-for-5 game. So maybe in the next game tomorrow, Altuve will get his first 5-for-5 game. Christian Walker at the plate, 0-for-2 with 2 strikeouts. But it looks like they are not going to let him pitch to Walker. Yep. Manager's on the way out to grab Povich. That's going to be it for him. Espada is going over the next pitcher with Walker, explaining what he can expect from this particular guy. Is it coffee break music again? Could be. That's right. It's all DIY.
Black coffee with cream, black with sugar. You know what I mean. Coffee, 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 espresso stack, milk with steam, brown and bitter. To each his thing.
Coffee, coffee, coffee.
It's time for coffee. Now that tastes good.
Now that tastes good.
Yeah, that's it. It's my coffee break song.
Likes to go out there and get that ground ball. Couple of outs, couple of runners on.
We got our next pitcher up at the plate. Runners on first and second, 2 outs facing Christian Walker. First pitch. Ball 1. Yenier Kano is on the mound. Walker did hit a home run against this guy last time he faced him. This is hit hard to left field, all the way out to the wall. It's gone! Yes, a 3-run homer by Christian Walker. The last time Christian Walker faced this pitcher, he did the same thing. The second pitch, Walker blasted to left center field. And that is 7-3 Astros. Altuve and Correa doing their jobs, just getting on base. Just get on, blasted out to left center. Doobie's the first up out of the dugout to celebrate. How about that? Good job, Mr. Walker. I don't care about those strikeouts. When you're hitting like that, you can strike out every single at bat, but if you hit one home run in the game, it's worth it. It's worth it. Keep doing that. Keep doing it. Strikeout percentage 33%. I'm okay with it as long as you keep hitting some dingers. Here's Diaz at the plate. First pitch is a ball. Second pitch is low and outside for ball 2. All right. Love that. Yenier Kano. Good move by the Orioles. You got to love it when they bring in. It kind of reminds me when they bring in a different pitcher for Yordan Alvarez. It's like, does it really matter who you bring in? You keep in the original guy. You bring in the next guy. It's going to be the same result. He's going to blast it, right? Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Finally a strike. Diaz was just an auto take. He wasn't throwing anything in the zone. 3-1 with 2 outs, nobody on. Here comes the next pitch from Kano. Kano? How do you say his name? Outside. Diaz draws a walk. We have another opportunity for a 2-run blast from Ramon Urias. A little righty on righty action. Diaz draws the walk after Walker draws the homer. I love it. Yeah, that's right. A little bit of a meeting on the mound right now. Yeah, you remember this guy. He knows us, right? He knows us. He was here. He knows us. Good call. Thanks for the coffee song. I'm glad you like it. It's pretty funny, isn't it? Finally, Walker. Yes. Yeah, well, I kind of called it. I wasn't surprised because they did say that the last time this pitcher faced Walker, Walker hit a homer. So that bodes well, right? And it worked out. Yeah, that was a good pitching change, Crispy. Good job. Good job. It does remind me of how many times I've seen them change pitchers against Yordan Alvarez, and then he steps up and he makes them pay anyway. First pitch to Urias is low, ball 1. Diaz on first base with 2 outs. The Orioles are not done with this inning. Astros are the 2-out punishers. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, but clips the corner for strike 1. The count's even. Walker goes yard. Yes, sir, he does. He goes Camden yard. Christian Trotter. That's right. Here's the next pitch. The 1-1 way outside on the slider. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 out magic. You're right, Ken. That's absolutely right. That's what they should probably tell the pitchers. Listen, we've got 2 outs. You got to be careful against the Astros. Swing and a miss on the inside. Low inside sinker. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Feel a little better with a 4-run cushion. Here comes the next toss. Swing and a miss. Arias strikes out. The sinker below the zone. 1 runner stranded, but the Astros come away with 3 more. Thanks to that right there. A high 2-seam fastball. Right down Christian Walker's alley. Number 8. 5 hits for the Astros, 5 hits for the O's. 2 errors on the Birds side. 7-3 Houston Astros going into the bottom of the 5th. My guess is that Sean Dubin is coming into the game. I don't see a reason why they would change that. Right now, being up by 4. So go ahead and bring him into the game. There we go. Now he's on screen. All right. So how's my Astros community here enjoying this game? Much better than the last couple of weeks, right? Pitching is can't complain about McCullers' performance, you know. There was a little bit of that unlucky stuff mixed in there. You know, the failed double play, the miss by Cam Smith on that fly ball, and the early walks called by the umpire, the early balls called to help load up the bases. You know, not everything has been McCullers' fault. He always seems to get a little bit of extra unlucky stuff in addition to his own mechanical issues. But today, I wouldn't complain about the results so far. I'm glad to see that he was able to come in and get a win, you know. Oh, man, Steel Viper coming back with another super chat as soon as I put my glasses back on. Steel Viper says, with a $20 super chat, thank you so much. Steel Viper says, Walker heard you about the double play fumble and wanted to make it up to you by getting the 3 runs back. So he says, hey, listen, I'm sorry. Hey, and this is a Maury Povich moment, right? Maury says, Brandon, Christian Walker is here right now, and he has something he wants to say to you. And he comes in and he apologizes and gives me 3 runs back, and of course I cry and we hug and everything's all good. Dubin on the mound facing Ryan Mountcastle, the very first pitch. 94-mile-per-hour sinker right in there, strike 1. Oh, and 2, 83-mile-per-hour Swiffer. Trying to get a thank you typed into the chat here. Here comes the next pitch from Dubin. He swings at that one, scooped up by Correa. He takes his time, fires the first, gets the first out. Nice. 1 up, 1 down. Arigato gozaimasu. Next pitch is to Colton Cowser. Inside. Ball 1. I forgive Walker. His past sins are erased. He has performed the proper penance. That's in there for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on. Dubin facing the cow. Colton Cowser. Here's the pitch. Outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the next pitch. 2-1. Right in there. 94 mile per hour fastball. 2-2. Ken says I give Lance the Dickens, but he did a good job tonight. Yeah, that'll do, Pig. That's what I would say to Lance. That'll do, Pig. That'll do. 88 miles an hour. Low and outside for ball 3. I think the batter thought he'd call it strike 3. And he looked at him like, what? He's like, no, that's just a ball, dude. This is that umpire that likes to make the full count call like it's strike 3. Yeah, Still Viper, thank you so much for your generosity. I really don't know what to say. Honestly, I really don't know what to say other than thank you very much. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Cowser. And that moves to second base where Urias throws it to first. And the Cows come home. Could mix some metaphors. The cows come home to roost. They're showing a lot of great plays by Correa over at third base. I love this one. Little thumbs up. Bling! I love it. He gets up laughing, smile on his face. 2 away. Dubin goes through the first 2 batters with ground outs. First pitch on the swerve ball, 1-0. He's now facing Kobe Mayo. Ken says, let's see if he can do something tonight. At least it's not Ort. Are you saying it ought not to be? It ought not to be Dubin? 2-0 is the count against Mayo. Mayo. Here comes the pitch. Oh, that's crushed hard to left. Is it going to stay in? Dubon gets it. Good play by Dubon. He floats back and shows Cam Smith how to get it done. Dubin shows his appreciation for Dubon. That was ripped to left field. I thought it might be a line drive homer. It was hit hard. Dubon ran back the whole time and never stopped looking at the ball. Look at this. Now that's how you do it right there. So Dubon shows Trammell how to do it without getting hurt and shows Cam how to hang on to the ball. That's a true Gold Glove veteran right there. But of course, Dubon, even though he is a utility player, Dubon is obviously a very talented outfielder. And I'm not saying that Cam Smith is not a talented outfielder. I think he's pretty amazing out there. He's fast. He's generally really, really good. He's great at making plays and moving around and even throwing the ball in. He's got a good arm. But I think that spatial awareness is definitely one of the things that Dubon is good at. He's a highly dependable defensive man. You're absolutely right. That's a catch, man. The Lion, you are correct, sir. Now that is a catch. That indeed is a catch. That right there is what you call a catch. All right. We are finished with 5 innings of ball. Going into the top of the 6th. Speaking of Dubon, after that great catch, he will be at the plate. Leading it off for the Astros. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk. Cam Smith follows. And then Chas McCormick, who's got a sacrifice bunt error that he reached on. Have any of you ever been into the shop in the stadium in Dykene Park? I kind of wonder what the prices are like there compared to online. If you actually go into the Astros MLB shop in Dykene Park, are the prices actually fair, or do they jack them up? I used to be annoyed about that whenever you'd go to like a rock concert or any type of concert where they're selling the official concert T-shirts. They would be so expensive. Even a long time ago, several decades ago, when I would go see a concert, those shirts would be like $40. That's way too high. But it's an official concert shirt. Doobie at the plate. The first pitch coming from Stroud. Strike at the bottom of the zone. New pitcher on the mound. Cade Stroud. Not to be confused with C.J. Stroud. Here's the pitch. This is hit into center field. It should be playable unless he makes an error. Unfortunately, he does not. That's one out. Doobie goes down. He'll head back to the dugout. Cam Smith comes to the plate. First pitch to Cam Smith coming in just a moment. He hits this first pitch way up in the air on the left side of the field, the infield. Third baseman comes over and grabs it. Out number 2. One swing, 2 outs. Well, some people happily pay it. You're right about that. Some people just don't care about that. They're like, oh man, it's worth it, you know. I wouldn't say it's worth it nowadays. Nowadays it's so different with the internet, right? Back in the day, you didn't have have many options on how to get a concert shirt like that. McCormick rips that one pretty hard out into right field, but it's foul. Strike 1. But back in the day, I didn't think about it. I did think, man, that's really expensive, but I couldn't resist buying one. It was, I mean, where else were you going to get that? You couldn't go online and get an official concert tour shirt, right? You had to buy it from the source. So back then, I'd say you were right. People are happy to get it. Outside, 1-1 to McCormick. 2 outs, nobody on. But nowadays, if I go to a concert and I see that there's a shirt for like $50, $60, $70, I'll just laugh, go online and get one if I really want it, you know? Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Whoa, almost got him on the inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The swerve ball missing. Cade Stroud, this pitcher, went to Mansfield Legacy High School in Texas, actually. Interesting. A little outside, ball 3. 3-1. Everything's a little quiet right now. Astros get a few more runs on the board. Everybody calms down a little. The ship seems to have righted. Does it not? Here's the pitch. 3-1 outside. Chaz gets a walk. All right. Chaz not getting actual hits, but contributing in other ways that are very important. Oh, I just realized that there seems to be an issue with my background. What in the world's going on there? I don't know. No signal. That's weird. Did I accidentally unplug? I wonder if I accidentally unplugged something. Ball 1 to Jeremy Pena. Pena is at the plate with 1 runner on and 2 outs. Low and inside, strike 1. Stroud goes over to first base. McCormick lays out. Gets back safely. What in the world is going on? This is strange. I don't know why, but there's no signal going out from my computer to my projector right now from my background. I don't know why that is. 92, low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The cutter missing. Brendan thinks that 7 runs is our magic number last 2 games. I'd be happy to be scoring 7 runs every game. Wouldn't that be amazing? That would be a magic number indeed. Here comes the next pitch. Fouled off. No, it's going to be in the right field. Is it going to drop? Oh, wow. He makes a sliding catch. Jackson barely able to hang on to that one. It rattled around in his glove, but he was able to make the play for out number 3. Pena almost gets a hit. Probably would have had runners on the corners, but the result is out number 3. And the top of the 6th is finished. We stay at 5 hits each, 7-3 Astros, going to the bottom of the 6th. I'm going to get up right quick. I see a couple of comments. I want to take a look at those in the live chat. But first, I want to stretch my legs. I need to get up and move around a little bit and get the blood flow going. I'll be right back, and I want to check my computer too. Go Stros. Sean Dooman is back on the mound and facing Dylan Beavers. First pitch, opposite field hit right through the hole between Correa and Pena. He's on first with no outs. And I'm trying to work out what's going on here. Let's see. Can I get that? There we go. I got it fixed. All right. For some reason, the input got changed for my background. I have a projected screen back there, and for some reason it got wonky. 0-1 is the count to Luis Vasquez. That pitch is in there for strike 2. 0-2. Dubin up to 16 pitches now. This is his second inning of work for the Stros. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Vasquez. Woo! That was a good pitch in the bottom of the zone. Should have been strike 3. Dubin smiles a little bit about it. That was good right there. 95 sinker in the bottom of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The umpire takes one away from Dubin. He fires over to first base. Runner is back, no problem. Let's see here. Happy says, I find it crazy when I see how much people purchase all at once. It's also a no-cash venue, so swiping the card without thinking, I sometimes wonder if the fans are shocked when they see the charges. Those things add up very quickly. Low and outside in the dirt, check swing, they say he did not go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ken says the surge protector strip sits on my wife's desk, on the side of the desk, and she's always shifting her feet, killing the whole desk by switching it off. That's frustrating. This is hit into center field. It might drop, and it does, right in front of McCormick. So the strikeout is taken away by the umpire. A clear strike 3 is taken away, and it turns into a single. So this is another example of the umpire causing us to lose batters. I wonder if I can move this just a little bit there. Maybe. Maybe there is okay. Yeah, that's okay. Now you can see my Astros shirt a little better. Top of the zone, call the ball. 1-0 is the count to Alex Jackson. Sean Dubin trying to get his first out. Runners on first and second. 2 singles. Singles party right now. Here comes the next pitch. Nice Swiffer. Swing and a miss. Perfectly placed. A perfectly placed pitch. Pretty perfectly placed pitch. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss again. The same pitch. Nice. 2 Swiffers in a row in the same spot. Looked like it was going to be in the zone, and he went after it. Mr. Jackson couldn't handle it. You can't handle the sweep. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Another Swiffer, but this one stays in the zone, and he puts the bat on it. Bases are loaded. So Dubin gets a little cheeky. He tries to get a little clever by throwing another Swiffer, but that one didn't move as much, and it came right in the zone. And he hit that one. Not surprised. 2 good Swiffers that started in the zone and went out of the zone, and they had a lot of movement. Strike, strike. He throws another one that starts inside. Doesn't have much movement. Lands right in the middle of the zone, and it gets hit. Shocker. You make one mistake, and that's what happens. 3 straight singles and no outs. Jackson Holiday at the plate. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Crispy. Every time the umpire screws us, they turn right around and get a hit. Absolutely. Brendan says, here we go again. Ken Stark says, again, it's Dubin. Groan. It's okay. He can do it. This is a tapper to Arias. He tags the guy at second base, but that's all they can get. Runner scores on the fielder's choice. 7-4 with runners on the corners. 1 out. Good move by Urias there. It was a tapper. All he could do was tag the runner. I'm glad that he didn't try to flip it to Pena. Better just to tag the runner yourself. Jeremiah Jackson comes to the plate. Runners on the corners, 1 out. 8 hits now for the Orioles. Here comes the next pitch from Dubin. 25th of the game. A little high, fastball, just above the zone, 1-0. I wonder how many likes we have. We have over 100 people on the live stream right now. It's modest, but I don't know how many likes. Here comes the next pitch. Another one at the top of the zone, a fastball. This one fouled off into the stands for strike one. 1-1. No, Brendan, it would be nice to get a double play now. They didn't have the opportunity for that earlier, but it'd be nice to get one right here, that's for sure. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jeremiah Jackson. Here comes the pitch from Dubin. Wow, up and inside on the Swiffer, and he went after. That was a terrible pitch. Luckily, he got the chase. That looked like a defensive swing. But it seemed like Jackson was committed to swinging at that one no matter what. The result is the same. Foul ball, strike 2. 1-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Tapper to second base. That'll score another run. Arias goes to first base. 7-5. Runner on second. 2 choppers to second base has brought in 2 runs. Astros lead is down to 7-5, down to 2. It looks like Steven Okert is going to come in. They're not going to let Dubin face Gunnar Henderson, the lefty. So we're going to have lefty on lefty here in just a moment. A little bit of fried Okert coming in from the bullpen. Dubin's day is done. Dubin's dubious day is done. Steven Okert. Boom. Dubin's dubious day is done. So Dubin pitches a couple of innings, winds up giving up 2 runs. If he had managed to get out of this with just 1 run, I wouldn't be upset. But if he continues to come in the bridge position, you know, the bridge between our closers like Abreu and our starters, whether it's McCullers or Arrighetti or Javier, whoever it is, doesn't matter. That bridge of relievers is very, very important. And if we have a pitcher who can't prove himself to be dependable in that bridge position, even when we have a nice lead, we have a 4-run lead, and we can't depend on a pitcher in the bridge spot to lock that down. I just wonder, why is he on the roster? Now, with 1 runner on, first pitch, 81 mile per hour slider in the bottom of the zone, strike 1. Yeah, let's see, 59 likes. Yeah, that's just half. A little more than half of who's watching right now. I'd like to have that at 75%. Fouled off there by Henderson. 0-2 is the count. Okert ahead. 0-2. Yeah, for those of you listening and watching the live stream right now, do like it. At the very least, I think you can do that. Help me out here. Strike 3. Okert comes in and throws 3 pitches and gets the out. Shuts it down. That's the Okert I like to see right there. He serves it up nice and fresh. He dishes it out. He says to the Orioles children, I don't care if you don't like fried Okert. You're going to eat it. Or you're going to go to bed hungry. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, out number 3. 2 runs given up in that inning thanks to Sean Dubin. But the damage is stopped. by Okert. But, you know, even those runs that were scored were just kind of squeaked in, you know. 2 fielders' choices for those 2 runs. So, Dubin didn't give up any really big hits. That's the good side, if you want to think about it that way. The bright side is that he didn't give up any big hits. The downside is that he loaded up the bases. That's the problem. So, right now it seems that Dubin has some really good pitches. I mean, he had that one batter. I can't remember who it was. If it was Jackson. There are 2 different Jacksons. But basically, he threw a really nice sweeper. It started off in the zone and it moved out. It was really nice. Swing and a miss. He threw another one right behind it. Same pitch. Swing and a miss. On the next one, he threw another sweeper, but there were a couple of differences. Number one, there wasn't much movement on it. That was one problem. The second one is he threw it a little further inside so that when it did get to the plate, it was right across the middle of the plate. And when you throw a sweeper that has almost no movement and it winds up in the middle of the plate, that's going to get punished like Frank Castle punishes criminals. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of mistakes. A few little mistakes here and there. But he wasn't giving up any big hits. Just little singles and misplaced pitches. Matt Bowman is on the mound for the Dirty Birds. He's facing Correa. Almost hits him on the first pitch, 1-0. Matt Bowman. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Ooh, that's fouled off of his foot. Correa hobbles down the line a little bit. 1 ball, 1 strike to number 1. He's trying to walk it off. Athletic trainer and the spot to come out to check on him. He's already picked up his bat. I think he's going to be okay. If you refresh it, it doesn't automatically update, Ken. You have to refresh it to see it. Right now mine says 59, but if I refresh it, it probably shows more than 60 now. That's my guess. Let me see. Yeah, it's 67 now. Yeah, so it's much better. It's getting closer to 75% now, so it's much better. Yeah, we definitely don't need Correa hurt, but I think he's okay. He just needed a little break to walk it off. Probably stung. 1 ball, 1 strike from Bowman. Altuve on deck. Walker in the hole. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Top of the zone on the sinker. Strike 2. 1-2 is the count. Top of the lineup right here with Correa, Altuve, and Walker. It'd be nice to see them put some more runs on the board, get closer to 10. Here comes the pitch. Outside, the slider just kept on sliding. 2-2. Daniel De Los Santos in the bullpen warming up for the Astros. 2-2 pitch on the way to South Korea. 90 miles an hour sinker way inside. Half swing by Correa and he goes down. I don't know what he was thinking there. I guess he thought it was going to break in or break out. Never did. He tried to golf it. Didn't get it. 1 away. Altuve comes to the plate. Finally got himself a hit. His last at bat. This first pitch a little high, but he fouls it off. 88 mile per hour cutter. Oh, 1 is the count. Here comes the next toss to Altuve. He rifles that one. Woof. He almost hit the first base coach, Clark. He was able to dodge it. Here comes the next pitch. Altuve grounds that one to the shortstop. He fires it to first. A little high, but he pulls it down. Man, Altuve rushed down the line. Almost beat that throw. But that's going to be out number 2. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Astros home runs leading the charge tonight. Walker's got one of them. Here comes the first pitch from Bowman, low and outside. Ball 1. Bow 1 from Bowman. Ken Stark says Blue Ball is now eligible to come back up. He stinks down on the farm, but up at the show he's done great. Yeah, I mean, he had a wonderful outing, and one of the things that I like is his speed. He was throwing some really fast pitches. Second pitch to Walker fouled off. 1-1 is the count. 10 pitches now for Bowman. By the way, Bowman was brought from the minors, I believe, after they claimed him, if I'm not mistaken. Fly ball to center field. 3 up and 3 down for the Astros in the top of the 7th. Nothing doing there. It seems like the Astros are basically scoring some runs in clusters every couple of innings. They score 4 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th, nothing in the 6th and the 7th. Based on this performance, I would expect the Astros to score some more runs either in the 8th or the 9th. We might get close to 10. We might even put 10 on the board. Don't know. 5 hits for the Astros, but 7 runs thanks to 2 3-run blasts. 8 hits for the Orioles, 5 runs on the board. We got a 2-run lead. Not nearly as big and comfortable as I would like to see, but we'll see. Stephen Okert most likely still on the mound for the Astros in the bottom of the 7th. I think that a fresh cup of coffee would be just what the doctor ordered. Maybe my new doctor. My old doctor would say, don't bother with coffee. It's useless, you know. Whether you drink it or whether you don't, it's still the end, you know. The end is nigh. That's what my old doctor would say. It's really sad, though, because my social worker or counselor, whatever you want to call her, I always say counselor. I think at the hospital, the official translation is social worker. But whenever you're being treated for serious illness, you are given free access to their counselors. And my counselor for the past 3+ years has been Yonezawa-san. And Miss Yonezawa is an amazing person. She has followed me in whatever direction I want to go with my treatment. Even if she doesn't understand it, she's made it very clear to me. I don't necessarily always understand what you want to do or what you're trying to do, but I will always support you, no matter what you decide. She's wonderful, but my doctor doesn't have that same attitude. It's a shame. I told her the other day, I wish you were my doctor. Can't imagine having a doctor with her attitude. I'd be really lucky. Why is it that in the mainstream hospitals you almost never find a doctor like that, right? It's more open-minded and educated and encouraging instead of just fear-mongering and closed-minded. First pitch to Ryan Mountcastle is fouled off. 0-1 is the count. De Los Santos on the mound for the Astros. I do have De Los Santos' picture, but I forgot to put his name on it. I got a good picture made for him. I need to go back and put his name on it later on. That's a problem for future Brandon. Future Ghostros problem. 0-1 is the count to Mountcastle. Here's a pitch. And that's a Delos strike. 0-2. The slider outside. Nice toss. Oh. I need some more hot water. I forgot that I put it on. I'll go grab it in a minute. Strike 3. Wow, 96 mile per hour right down the bottom of the zone. Mountcastle goes down in 3 pitches. Be right back. Let me grab my hot water. Next batter due up is Colton Cowser. Oh, yeah, Craig Kimbrell is the guy that looks like a vulture or something when he's pitching on the mound. I forgot about that. First pitch to Cowser is in there for a strike. Second pitch is up and in for ball 1. 1-1 to Cowser, and I've got my hot water, fresh cup o' coffee incoming. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Woo! 96 mile per hour fastball, swing and a miss. So far, since joining the Astros, De Los Santos has not been a bad pitcher. He might turn into a really good option for us. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. After a long delay. Low and inside on the changeup. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the next pitch. This is hit hard to right field. It might be gone. As soon as I give him some praise, he gives up a homer. Colton Cowser, deep to right field. 7-6. 1 out, and this is a 1-run game. Man, why do they send off fireworks when there's a solo home run? Man, they really, really celebrate the little things, don't they? 96 mile per hour fastball right in the center of the zone. The only way to describe that is that Cowser was expecting or hoping for a fastball. If that had been a breaking ball, he would have missed it completely, probably. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on the next batter. That was the slider he should have thrown to Cowser. 1 out, nobody on. 7-6 with that 1-run homer. Colby Mayo at the plate. 0-1 is the count. 10th pitch of the game coming for De Los Santos. Here's the toss. This is hit high in the air on the infield. Urias is underneath it. Puts it away for out number 2. Yeah, you're right, Ken. I think so. I mean, it's unfortunate, but he was just banking on it. You said he was sitting on it. You're right. He absolutely was. There's no way that he just could guess at that moment that it was going to be a fastball. Or rather, no. You know, he couldn't wait and decide whether or not to swing. He was committed to that being a fastball. Here comes the 11th pitch of the game. First pitch to Dylan Beavers. 1-0 outside. I wouldn't consider that a jinx, Brendan. When I'm talking about the long-term performance and how he's done pretty well so far, I don't think that changes anything. Anybody who knows me knows that anytime anyone mentions a jinx, I immediately toss that out. I think the idea of a jinx is silly, and that's putting it lightly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just above the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. Beavers at the plate. Ken Stark says, I've always despised the new Vulture closer they just signed. What is he, 37? Low and inside, ball 3, 3-1. Ken says, he's a sure Hall of Fame inductee, but still, he makes my teeth itch when he pitches. Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I know that they're not looking towards him to be like a heavy burden carrier, you know. Change up, swing and a miss, strike 2. Nice change up in the bottom of the zone. That was a good toss. I don't know what he's going to do for us. I'll just say that I'm completely neutral about that guy right now. Ball in the dirt inside, and that's ball 4. Runner on base with 2 outs. It looks like that home run got him a little shaky. Looks like he got a little shook up, a little shaken up after that home run. This is kind of strange. They got a rookie guy that they just signed to an extended deal. Samuel Basalo. As they have a little meeting on the mound to discuss this guy. But they give him a standing ovation. The Orioles have decided to lock this guy in. And there's it's funny, they give the standing ovation while they're having a meeting on the mound. And now it's kind of calmed down. 2 outs, runner on first. Here comes the first pitch from De Los Santos. Nice pitch on the outside edge. 88 mile per hour slider, strike 1. Let's see if the rookie can handle Enyel. He's going to be in your face. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Woo, 96 hit to left field. Is it going to get down? It's just foul. Woo. Almost an opposite field hit on that 96 mile per hour outside fastball, but now it's 0-2. That's nice of Dubon. He picked up that foul ball and he gave it to somebody in the crowd there, some Orioles fans. What a nice guy. I love Doobie. You know, I think actually Doobie has gotten so much better just step by step since he's been with the Astros. Do you guys feel the same? Because, you know, he's played with some other teams and he's endeared himself to those fans. Not just the Astros fans, but since being with the Astros, I feel like he's just become an Astro. He has grown and become rooted into the system, you know. This year, we really needed him. His utility. Strike 3. De Los Santos comes back with a strikeout. Basalo gets the standing ovation from the big contract rookie. He does give up the 1 solo home run, but he comes back with a 3-pitch strikeout. The crowd goes completely silent after that. Eat that in your face, says De Los Santos. In your face. You're right, Crispy. We do need to score more runs. We can't expect. I mean, we do have 7 runs on the board, and that's wonderful. Don't get me wrong. That's absolutely wonderful. But we definitely can't be giving up with a 1-run lead. We got to keep trying. Yeah, and it wasn't just the rookies. The rookie entitlement. It's also the fans. I mean, can you imagine that? Let's think about Cam Smith, okay? Let's say that Cam Smith gets a contract right now, which I actually do believe that the Astros should do. And there are a couple of reasons why. The main reason is because they can get a huge discount. Cam has a lot of... it's true that he's in a slump right now, but he has a lot of talent. He's a young guy. He has a lot of upside. There's a lot more upside and a lot more possible return for the Astros than there is loss. And so I do agree with the idea that they should sign him right now because they can get a massive discount. But just for the sake of argument, just for a hypothetical, let's say that they sign him, okay? Regardless of the amount, the Astros go ahead and sign Cam Smith to an extended multi-year contract. The very next game they play at Daikin Park and he comes to the plate, do you think that the Astros fans are going to stand up and give him a standing ovation because he got signed? I don't think that they would do that. And so it's a strange thing for me. I've never seen that before, where a rookie comes in and gets a contract and then they give him a standing ovation. Rico Garcia is in for the Orioles. He throws the first pitch to Diaz right in the middle of the zone, 90 miles an hour, strike one. Rico. Oh no, Matt Bowman is... Who were they just showing? Oh, okay, that was not the pitcher, my bad. They have a substitution on the field. Matt Bowman is still on the mound for the Astros. Diaz fouls that one off for strike two. 0-2 is the count. That was confusing. I'm a little lost. Here's the pitch, the 0-2. Yiner hits that one into center field. All right. Got ourselves a leadoff base hit on that 0-2 count. It's nice to see the Astros punish the Orioles a little bit when they're down 0-2. Look at this. He went down and got it. Good for you, Diaz. Good for you. Hey, Dr. D comes in with the 70th like. Thank you, sir. Here comes the pitch. This is hit hard to left field by Urias all the way out to the wall. It's off the top of the wall. Holy cow, it was almost a home run. He goes into second. Diaz to third. That was just a few inches away from being a home run. Holy cow, the quiet crowd right now. Man, that ball just floated out there. Just inches from being a homer. As soon as he saw that ball go up. Just barely contained off the top of the wall. Take a look how close this was. Woof. Maybe 3 inches. Man. Yeah, look at the face on Bowman. He's like, oh my God. Mauricio Dubon, the guy I was just talking about, our utility dude. Let's see if we can get another doobie double. You want to see a doobie double? He's probably, he's chomping. I can see him drooling. He's like, man, he's thinking big hit. Doobie's thinking big hit right here. He likes to be a hero. Okay, the umpire breaks up the meeting on the mound, and they're discussing their options with Doobie. No outs, runners on second and third. Yeah, that's right, Fred. He's hit the top of the wall a couple times. He's threatening. I'd like for him to get it out of the park, but even off the top of the wall, I'm okay with. Doobie base hit. I'm looking for it. He puts the first one on the ground. Diaz won't score. Out number one on the ground out to shortstop. Yeah, Ken, by the way, there is a really nice interview. There's a YouTube channel that talks about, they have a long sit-down interview with Dubon. It's not with his manager. That's what you're talking about is a different one. But there is a YouTube channel that is very popular. He does interviews with all sorts of guys. And he did an interview with Dubon. I can probably find it for you, but let's see. This World Series champ no one wanted. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, I see the one that you're talking about. It's not the one I'm talking about. This is the one I think you're talking about. I'll post it in the chat for anyone interested. I highly recommend it. You're right. You're right about that, Ken. This interview here, very good. But there's another one. There's another one also. Where is that video? There's another channel that does a lot of interviews with all sorts of people, and they interview Dubon. Where is it? Oh well, I'll get back to it later. I'll try to find it later on, and I'll get back to you guys and post it for you. But there's a guy. Wait a second. You know what? I think it's called Diary of a CEO. I think he interviewed Dubon. Suddenly, my video feed has frozen. Let me reload my MLB page. See what's going on here. All right, there we go. Corbin Martin is on the mound for the Orioles. He is facing Sanchez with runners on second and third and one out. That pitch is outside. Jesus Sanchez at the plate. Super hot yesterday, 5 for 5. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the next pitch. Low and inside. He tries to hold up but can't. 1 ball, 1 strike. The information on the screen has not updated for some reason. Yiner's on third. Arias on second. This is grounded to the right side. They're going to go home. Diaz tries to go home, and he's thrown out easily. That was pathetic. Arias goes to third. We have runners on first and third with 2 outs. That was just pathetic. Diaz, he looked like a turtle going home there. Yeah, he started way too late to be scoring on that. Pretty lame. I'm sorry, but that just looked pitiful. So Cam Smith was out and Sanchez was in. Now McCormick is out and the Batman Victor Caratini is in. We can't ruin this opportunity. We must score. The Batman can do it. Runners on first and third. Corbin Martin throws over to first base. Sanchez is back. First pitch to Caratini. On the way. Oh, that's ripped hard. The very first pitch out to right field. It can't be caught. It's off the wall. 1 run in. Here comes another run. Sanchez all the way from first. It's a 2-run double for the Batman, Victor Caratini. The very first pitch ripped out to right field. The right fielder dove for it, couldn't handle it, and it jacked off the wall. Big time. Look at that. Fastball, boom, punished by the Batman. Take a look at this. Just couldn't handle it. Jackson laid out for it, couldn't get it. A double that scores 2 runs. Big jack off that wall. The relay didn't work out either. Sanchez easily able to score standing up. 9-6 Astros. Big hit. The Batman comes through. Pena goes up the middle. That could be through. It is. That's going to score another run. Melton is in for running. He's pinch running. He scores. They pull out Caratini, put Melton on second base to pinch run. Pena goes up the middle and turns it into a double. A weak hit just to the right of the second baseman. They were playing Pena way over. Look at this. Oh, it hit off the pitcher. It hit off of Martin. Melton scores easily. Pena books it into second base. And the Astros are cooking with gas. 10-6. We get to our 10 runs. Heck yes. First pitch to Correa gets ripped down the third baseline. Man, the Astros are just nailing the ball suddenly. They bring in Corbin Martin. The Astros just start lighting him up. Pinch hit. Pinch hitters coming through. Runners coming through. Diaz's attempt to go home was the only bad-looking thing this inning, really. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Correa. High. 97 above the zone. Ball one. The count is even. We still got a runner on second base in scoring position. It's not over yet. 9 hits now for the Astros and the Orioles. Here comes the next pitch. Ooh, low and outside. Swing and a miss. Yes, absolutely. The Flash got it done. Now, South Korea with an opportunity to move in the Flash. Let's do it. Outside, ball 2. Counts even. Altuve on deck. Could see some more damage. Pena with 2 hits today. 4 RBIs. Correa with 1 hit. A walk. Here's a pitch. On the bottom of the zone. He takes it for strike 3. But a 3-run inning. The Astros wind up doing what I said that, they might be doing, right? Scoring a bunch of runs every few innings. Nothing in the first and second, 4 in the third. Nothing in the fourth, 3 in the fifth. Nothing in the sixth and the seventh, but 3 in the eighth. So the Astros are looking really good this game by scoring consistently with clusters of runs scattered through 3 different innings. 4, 3, and 3. It's 10-6 right now. Well done, Stros. That'll do, Pig. That'll do. The 2-out magic. Yep, it goes our way again. Absolutely it does. Pinball. That's right. Everybody's saying the same thing. It's that 2-out magic. For sure it is. It's a real thing for the Astros. You're right, Fred. Pulling out Caratini and putting in some fast legs, definitely a good move, especially right here in the 8th inning. Yep, leave it to the Batman to keep that inning going. Big hit, a really big hit. Without that hit, we score nothing that inning. Because of that hit, we got 2 and then we added 1 more. He didn't just score runs. He made it possible to get more, didn't he? Gotham, baby. Hey. For those of you who remember the original Batman movie, the original with Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, you remember the beginning of the movie? Those two criminals were talking, and he says, "I heard that the bat got him." What happened to that pitcher? You mean the Baltimore Orioles pitcher? What about him? I heard that the bat got him. Man, there ain't no bat. Hey, sarcastic prodigy with the super. Freaking awesome. $10 super chat. Thank you so much, sir. I really do appreciate you very much. Arigato gozaimasu. Ort is on the mound. Caleb Ort is now the official pitcher, and the very first pitch is hit all the way out to center field and a homer right off the bat. No kidding. Talk about taking the wind out of your sails. Right off the bat, the very first pitch to Vaimil Machin, a pinch hitter, comes in and gets a home run on the very first pitch. A pinch hitter First pitch homer. That would have tied the game if the Astros hadn't gotten any runs. Fastball, top of the zone. 107.6 miles an hour out of the park. 10-7. Here's the next pitch. Bottom of the zone. Strike one to Jackson Holliday. Well, Ken, you're right. Maybe we can say we ought not to put him in. We ought not put him in. Next pitch is in there for strike two. 0-2 against Holliday, and he calls a timeout. No outs. Nobody on. Yes, this is a crazy game. Yeah, it's turning into a football score, 10-7. Astros up by field goal right now. That misses for ball one, 1-2. This game is making me all kinds of hungry. I want to cook me up a nice egg omelet with a lot of butter and black pepper. Here's the pitch. He hits this one high in the air. It looks like it's going to be out of play. Yeah, Jay. I got over 1K yesterday. I appreciate you all. I made kind of a tribute video, a short video. Line drive into right field. That's another hit. It's down for a single. Sanchez brings it into second base, and Holliday is on. One runner, no outs. Caleb Ort threatening to allow them to come back here in the bottom of the eighth. I hope you guys and gals have an opportunity to look at the short I posted yesterday. It's only about 1 minute and 10 seconds long. But it's a song that I wrote and I put together using AI software. And then the video clips, I took some of my favorite pictures of some of the players and I turned them into video. And I plan on making a full-length music video with it. But right now it's just some clips to show my appreciation to all of you for 1,000 subscribers. It's a tribute to the Astros, but it's also a tribute to you, my subscribers. If you have a chance, check it out. I hope you like it. Here's a pitch. 95 in the bottom of the zone. Jeremiah Jackson at the plate. Now, Ort does have a strong arm, but that's probably what the Orioles are expecting is fastballs, and that's what they've been hitting so far. And that's the double play. And that was on a curveball pitch. Go figure. Well, Old Dog is jumping in on the action. There's that double play. Pena to Urias to Walker. 2 away. And that clears the bases. Old Dog, thank you so much. Another $10 super chat. You guys are making me feel awesome. You know, yesterday I wound up spending about, I think in dollars it came out under $200 for those 2 scans and doctor visit. And I wouldn't have been able to go if not for my donations. I'm not joking, by the way. I wouldn't have been able to go to get those scans if not for the donations I received from you over the past couple of weeks. So you have no idea how much it means to me. Having that information gives me more peace of mind, right? Old Dog, arigato gozaimasu. Old Dog's one of my old listeners. Swing and a miss. 97 miles an hour right in the middle of the plate. Ort putting a little bit more beef on it. 2-1 is the count to Mr. Gunnar Henderson. I still want to call you Bit Dog, Old Dog. I will always remember you as Bit Dog. 97 miles an hour up and out, all the way out to left field and just into the stands. Not playable for Doobie, but he hustled over there to try to get it anyway. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on. 2 away. 2, 2, and 2. They're showing the performance of the Astros starters right now. Fromber and Spencer Arrighetti, recent ERA over 7. Next pitch is high and outside. Full count. Thanks for coming back in, old dog. Astros user says konnichiwa, konbanwa. Fouled off. Full count remains. Gunnar is 1 for 4 today with a single. He has only had mild success. Here comes the full count pitch from Ort. Ground ball. It's going to be through the hole on the left side. Pena can't get to it. Doobie scoops it up. Keeps him at first base. Opposite field hit for Gunnar Henderson. That's his second hit of the day. Yeah, that's right. 7-4, and then suddenly it's 10-7. Ryan Mountcastle comes to the plate with a runner on first and 2 outs. Caleb Ward on the mound with 15 pitches this inning. Here's the 16th. Little tapper might be trouble. No play. Correa comes charging in, but it doesn't matter. 2 runners on. Colton Cowser comes to the plate. 2 runners on, 2 outs. It's sad to get... See, this kind of reminds me of what happened to McCullers a little bit. These ground balls and these tappers and stuff like that. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that. But it turns into a hit and another base runner. And it looks like Espada is going to go ahead and pull out Ort. They're not going to let him face Colton Cowser. It's going to be it for him. We got 2 runners on with a 3-run lead. Are they going to bring in Brian Abreu a little early? That's something that they used to do. I say used to do. That's something that they've done often throughout the year. Whenever we had Hader, Brian Abreu sometimes would come in with 1 or 2 outs remaining in the 7th inning, shut that down, then come back in the 8th. But now, since we only need 1 out and we got 2 runners on, do you think they'll be bringing in Abreu to shut it down and then come back in the 9th? Half of me says, yes, that's what I want. Please, God, yes. But the other half of me says, I don't know. Do we have another guy that we can depend on to get that last out? I think Brian Abreu is our only safe option, or our safest option. Rusty Gamer, another $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I think is that your first super chat? Either that or it's been a while, but either way, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I absolutely do. I wish I had the words to describe everything that was going on here, but I think the main thing that you all need to know is, number one, I am grateful for you and everything that you've done to support the channel and support what I'm doing here, whether it's just likes or shares or subscribing, commenting, listening in, but especially donating, joining up as members, financially supporting the channel. It's very, very, very helpful to me. Keeps things going, and it gives me something to really look forward to each day, being here with this community. But beyond that, there are other things that are really, really helpful. And words fail me. Abreu is indeed on the mound. Here comes the first pitch. High and outside, the slider missing. Colton Cowser at the plate. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss on the inside, the slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Absolutely. Let's go Space City. Ken mentioned King. Now they wouldn't bring in King in this position. I don't think I didn't even think about Brian King. Not in this high leverage situation. 88 miles an hour. King usually comes in to face certain types of batters or to have a clean inning, but to bring him in a situation like this, I don't think so. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 strike away, Abreu from getting into the 9th inning. Here comes a pitch. Nice! Strike 3 on the outside edge. Yiner didn't catch it very well, but that is a strikeout looking, a 4-pitch strikeout from Brian Abreu. Our current ace gets her did. The crowd is dead silent after that. They were hoping for more, but Abreu didn't give it to him. He came in and he was ice cold. He walks off the mound like a big cube of ice. Orioles get 1 run, and then they're shut down by Abreu. Their bid for more is canceled. 10-7. 13 hits for the Orioles, 7 runs. 9 hits for the Astros, 10 runs. Holy cow. Whew. Old Dog says, hope your checkup is a positive result. Thank you, Old Dog. I appreciate that. My exam result was no different or surprising news. The doctor suggested that there has been no real change in the shadows that suggest metastasis in my lungs. They haven't really changed, so that's good. I mean, they're still there. That's not good, but they haven't become more solid. They haven't grown. They haven't spread. They're just kind of the same. So that's one thing. It's been kind of flat. So, that's something. The other thing is that he didn't see any reason to believe that there was a possibility of a PE, of pulmonary embolism right now. He didn't see a reason to do further exams. In order to see if there's a possible PE, a clot in the lungs, you have to have a contrast imaging done. They have to use like an IV to put something in you. Wow, look at that. Pena comes to the plate. Very first pitch. No, that's Altuve. Holy freaking cow. They were showing some highlights of Pena, and they went from highlights to Pena to Altuve hitting a double. So I thought it was Pena because they were showing highlights of Pena, and then suddenly they show the very first pitch to Altuve ripped into left field, and he booked it around, and with pure hustle, he slides in at second base with a leadoff double. How about that, man? My hero showing us some love. Christian Walker at the plate with Altuve on second. First pitch is up and in. They called a strike. That was not a good one to be swinging at. Not sure why they called that a strike, but it's 0-1. But anyway, I don't need to stay in the hospital right now, and they didn't recommend further exams. So, and the doctor was much more open and accepting of my questions and ideas. So I had a much better experience. Swing and a miss by Walker. 0-2 is the count. If Altuve's on second base, you got to bring him home. Walker strikes out in the dirt. Swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout. It's okay. You hit the home run earlier. I'm not going to be upset with you. I told you if you strike out every time, but you homer once, I can forgive you. But thank you so much for asking about that, old dog. I really appreciate it. Brendan says, how much money do you keep from the donations? Just curious. Well, it depends on who you donate through, Brendan. Diaz is at the plate, fouls the first pitch off to the dugout. Strike one. Brendan, if you donate through YouTube, they always keep 30%. They keep a huge percentage. But if you donate through PayPal or buy me a coffee, then it's a very low percentage, maybe like 3% that they keep. Yonder hits this one out to right field. That's going to be pretty deep. Is Altuve going to tag? Yes, he is. Here's the throw. Nice throw, but Altuve gets in there, no problem. Jackson was hoping for an opportunity to get Altuve, but despite the great throw, Altuve still was able to get in standing up. Runner on third with 2 outs. Ramon Urias comes to the plate. He hit one off the top of the wall in left center field earlier. Came just a few inches from a homer. From a Geaux. Here's the pitch. Low and outside in the dirt, ball 1. Old Dog says, I've been in the VA hospital the last few days, but it's all good, Hollywood. Really? How are you doing now? You back home? Or are you still there? Here's the pitch. Low and outside again. 2 balls and no strikes. Oh, wait a second. The first pitch was a strike. What did he do? Check swing at it? I must have missed that. 1-1 apparently is the count. 1-1 with 2 outs and runner on third. Altuve at third base. Come on, Urias. Just bring him in. Bring him home. Right in there. Strike 2. 92 mile per hour slider. Remember, it's a mortal sin if you leave Altuve on third base. Here's the pitch. Hey, this is roped into left field. Oh, it's going to be caught. Line drive straight to the left fielder. That was not a bad little rope, but straight at the left fielder. So Altuve is stranded on third, and Ramon is going to have to visit the church and ask the priest to pray on his behalf for forgiveness for stranding Altuve on third base. 10 hits for the Astros, 13 for the Orioles at the end of the top of the 9th. Astros are up by 3, 10-7. The Orioles have scored 3 innings in a row, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, 2-1-1. They didn't get anything in the first 3 innings, believe it or not. Now think about this. McCullers started this game off through the first 4 innings. He was responsible for 3. But the Orioles have scored 7. 4 of those have been scored off of our relievers. So the pitching issue in this game wasn't McCullers, believe it or not. Should have Brian Abreu on the mound in just a second to try to shut this down in the bottom of the 9th and put game 2 at Baltimore in the bag. Sarcastic Prodigy asks, what are the chances of the Astros bringing Miguel Eola up from the for the bullpen? You know, I have no idea about that. I don't know anything about Miguel, really. I'd have to look it up to answer that question. But I'm willing to consider anybody right now. And it's even one of you guys said earlier about Blue Ball. Blue Ball hasn't been doing very well in the minors, and that's the main reason why they haven't brought him back up. But he did have a great outing. Maybe they can work with him and work it out. I don't know. But then again, how much time do we have left to be experimenting? Kobe Mayo at the plate facing Brian Abreu. First pitch on the outside edge, strike 1. Nice slider. Here comes the next pitch. Woo! 98 miles an hour inside, swing and a miss. Strike 2. Yes, Fred, thank you very much. I think it's good news. It's better than being told you need to hurry to the hospital. Woo! That slider just barely misses outside and low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch outside. Ken says, I'll be setting up a recurring on PP on. Oh, thank you very much, on PayPal. Yep. I do have a link Should be a way for you to do that. I think you can do that if you click that link. Mayo steps out of the box with the 2-2 count, takes a little time out. I think you can choose a subscription amount, and PayPal only takes like, what, 3.1% or something. It's a huge difference. YouTube really rakes you over the coals. They are very greedy. Google is a greedy company. Full count. That ball's outside to Mayo. No outs. 9 pitches now for Abreu. Full count to Kobe Mayo. Here comes the toss. Oh, did he hit him? That was right on his hand. But was it a swing, though? It's either going to be a hit by pitch or a swing, but look, right now it looks like they're ruling it a hit by pitch. Let's take a look. I don't know, what do you call that? Right now they're holding up as a hit by pitch, but he let go of the bat. It hit his hands. Difficult to call, but that looked painful. Coming from Abreu, that's tough. That's gonna hurt. He's gonna stay in the game, it looks like. He's still holding his hand. He's gonna go to first. You know, here in the 9th inning, it may not be necessary for that guy to stay in the game. He could probably go out. Leadoff runner, Dylan Beavers, comes to the plate with a runner on. Yep, that's right, Gregory. We are up by field goal right now. Yeah, you're right, Brendan. 30% is very high. They do that on everything, on the memberships and on the super chats, even on the ads, the AdSense that are run on the channel. They take 30% of everything. First pitch to Beavers is 97, fouled back, strike one. Old Dog says, I'm at home, just a lot of testing. Okay. My best wishes and prayers for you. I understand having to deal with stuff like that. Next pitch is on the bottom outside, 98-mile-per-hour fastball, strike two, dotted up that lower outside corner. Nice, beautiful pitch. Boom. The umpire liked it. Shoot says, put Nolan Ryan in the bullpen. He may produce better than what we have. That's right. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Beavers. Abreu on the outside edge, rung up, strike three. Beavers is not happy about that. It was a little outside the zone, but it's nice to see that we get one back from the umpire because he took some away earlier. That was close. That was close. 98-mile-per-hour steamer, a four-steamer from Abreu. That's out number one. Samuel Basallo is at the plate. Struck out his last at bat. He doesn't get a standing ovation this time. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner on first, 1 out. Here comes the next pitch. Abreu puts that one right in there. Slider on the inside, swing and a miss. 1-1 is the count. Yeah, well, you know, Crispy, it's hard to say. The bat did go around, but he let go of it at a certain point. And the bat continued to go around, but he had already let go of it. It's difficult to call. I don't know how to call that one. This is hit hard down the right side. So calling it a hit by pitch isn't controversial to me. It could have gone either way. I think if I'm being honest and fair, I don't know. It's coin toss. 1 ball, 2 strikes with that foul ball. Abreu ahead in the count to Basallo. We are 2 outs away from winning this game. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. Basallo strikes out again. The guy that they stood up and cheered for with the big rookie contract goes down to the master, Brian Abreu. This crowd is completely quiet. No wonder they didn't stand up and cheer for him when he came to the bat the second time. He let them down the last one. They were expecting more of the same, and they got it. This is the home run guy, Vimeo Machine. What a name. Machine. First pitch is a ball. First pitch home run off of Ort earlier. Here comes the next pitch from Abreu. Swing and a miss. Nice slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, it was nasty. And that one was nasty too. Yeah, that's right. Sarcastic Prodigy, you call it right. Is it a swing? Is it not a swing? Is it hit by pitch? No, you call that pain. That's correct. Swing and a miss. 98 on the inside. He can't handle it. You can't handle the steam. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Runner on first. Abreu 1 strike away from shutting this down. Yes, that's right, Ken. He did make up for some of the poo-poo calls earlier with that strikeout. Absolutely. He gave us a couple, one on the corner and one on the edge. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. Abreu strikes out the side. Boom, boom, boom. He gets 1 runner on, but strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. It doesn't matter what kind of machine you bring to the plate. Abreu knows how to pull out the wrench and break it down. A little bit of a hug for the outfielders. So a little group hug there. A little love between Astros, Correa and Walker with the guns and the holsters. Astros win this game 10-7. A little bit of a, I guess you could say, a reliever breakdown. McCullers gives up 3 runs. I'm not going to complain about that, even though he didn't go 5 innings. But the Astros relievers were really a mixed bag. Once again, if not for our solid, more dependable aces like Brian Abreu, this could have been, it could have been a sad ending, you know. 4 runs given up by our relievers. But Abreu comes in, gets the last out. Kind of a traditional Abreu, right? Traditional Abreu is come in, get the last out, and then get the next 3 outs, right? And that's what he did today, except it wasn't the 7th to the 8th. It was the 8th to the 9th. But the Astros win thanks to good offense. That's right, crispy, good offense. Timely ace pitching and solid performance from people who are expected to be solid performers like Brian Abreu. Hey, Caesar, good to see you here. Welcome in. And Patrick, you too. Let's see here. Houston, we have a closer. That's right. Yeah, I'm glad to see Abreu fitting well until Hader comes back. I mean, nobody feels more comfortable than Astros fans when we have Abreu and Hader, right? But at least we know that we can bring in Abreu to get that final out in the 8th and then attempt to shut it down in the 9th. It is a nasty slider, isn't it? And he's got that fastball. The slider-fastball combination is definitely where he's earning his money, Sarcastic Prodigy. You're right. Tommy wants swing. I need to get that meme back. I actually want to have a video clip that I modify where he says, Tommy likey, Tommy wants swingy. I want to modify that. I got to work on that. That's just, I have so many hours in the day, you know. Sherdley says, great crowd, what a game. Absolutely, great community. Caesar says, if you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Stay away from that plate. Don't step up to the plate, baby. You can't eat if you can't handle the heat in the kitchen. Patrick wants to know if he... Oh, thank you for the awesome pictures, portraits. Are you creating those with AI? If so, do you mind sharing your prompt? Well, Patrick, I'm using ChatGPT. And if you want, all you have to say is something like this. Create for me a cinematic anime gritty cinematic gritty anime portrait style image of player. Okay, now this is the first thing you do. This is the prompt. It's very simple. Create for me a cinematic gritty anime portrait style image of, and then you put the player in, but you need to give it a picture of the player. So whatever player you want, for example, if you want a picture of Altuve, what you do is you get a picture of Altuve just so we can see a reference, okay? And you copy that and you paste it in the chat and you include it with this message. It will use that picture of Altuve as a reference, and then it will make the portrait picture for you. It's that simple. It's really that simple. But this is basically the prompt I used for that. It's a cinematic, gritty anime portrait style. So there you go. Shoot, thank you so much. Shoot says, yeehaw, we got a winning streak with that super chat. Thank you so much, sir, for that. I appreciate that very, very much. Arigato. Shrewdly with the $5 super chat. Great broadcast. Thank you so much, Shrewdly. I hope my broadcast was shrewdly done. Arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very, very, very much. Anything else I'm missing here? Let's see. Sarcastic says, I may not change my underwear until the Astros lose. I would love to try that out myself, but you know, since I live out here in the countryside and I have to do a little bit of cleaning and work every day, I'm not so sure what the locals would think when I go to the supermarket. They would probably wonder, where is that foul smell coming from? Death Before Dishonor says, break out the brooms, let's get the sweep. Absolutely. I was calling for that from before we came back. That's why I put on my thumbnails, all 4 of my thumbnails, I put revenge, because the Astros really need to make a statement right now to come back and destroy the Orioles. You know, I feel like the Astros sweep this series, they'll do 2 things at the same time. They will restore their confidence overall. They'll stop trying to push so hard when they're at the plate. The relievers can feel a little more confident that they've got some run support. But the other thing that can happen is that on the Orioles side, their hot streak comes to an end. And this hurts them for the rest of the season. This could demoralize a young, eager team. You know what I'm saying? Gregory says, Astros 2 in a row. What an action-packed game. Yes, it was. It absolutely was. You are right, sir. You're absolutely right. Brian Abreu in 40.1 innings. You see on the screen right there, a .45 ERA. That's nuts. Opponents batting 138 with 58 strikeouts. Man, Abreu is absolutely owning the other teams. I mean, I know Hader is our closer, but Abreu is our best pitcher. He's our best reliever right now. He's been that way for a while. He is absolutely lights out right now. There's nothing that we need more than our star relievers to be in prime form going towards the playoffs. Absolutely. Sarcastic Prodigy says, see you tomorrow. Go Stros. Absolutely. Thank you, Prodigy. Thank you so much. Abreu is lights out. Fish-eyed fool. That's right. I'm going to do a quick recap of this game as usual. And then a little preview of tomorrow's game for those of you who are interested. There's a lot of scoring to go over in this game, so let's run over it right quick. In the top of the third, McCormick hit a sacrifice bunt, which was hilarious. It was botched, causing Dubon to score. 1-0 Astros. In the top of the third, the Astros scored again with a 3-run homer by Pena, which scored Cam Smith and Chas McCormick. 4-0. In the bottom of the fourth, Jackson singled, scoring Mayo 4-1. And then again in the fourth, Jackson doubled to center, scoring Jackson and Beavers, bringing the Orioles within 1 run, 4-3. In the top of the fifth, Walker homered to left field, left center, 396 feet, scoring South Korea. And Superman Jose Altuve, 7-3. The Astros extended their lead again. In the bottom of the sixth, the Orioles scored some more runs. Holiday grounded into a fielder's choice for a run, and then Jackson grounded out to second, scoring a run. 2 fielder's choices, bringing them 2 runs closer, 7-5. In the bottom of the seventh, Cowser hit a solo home run off De Los Santos to make it 7-6. And that's as close as they would get right there. In the top of the eighth, with 2 outs, the Batman himself, Victor Caratini, came to the plate, doubled to right field, ripped it off the wall, just under the outstretched glove of the right fielder, Jackson, scoring Sanchez and Urias. Urias was on first base. He scored all the way from first. 9-6 Astros. Pena came up, doubled to center field, scoring Melton. 10-6 Astros. Machine homered to center in the 8th inning, the bottom of the 8th. A pinch hitter, very first pitch. And that gave the Orioles another run, pulled them within 3, but that's where it would end right there. 10-7. Lots of scoring in this game. Astros have some work to do in their bullpen, but the bats are alive for 2 days in a row. We've now put up, 17 runs? My hope was that the Astros would score 40 runs in this series, an average of 10 runs per game. They're not too far off from that pace. That's amazing. 10 runs today, 7 runs yesterday. We are 71-58 right now. And should be another half game ahead of the Mariners, but I don't know what the score is. We'll check on the scores around the league in just a moment. But I want to take a look at the Astros pitching performance real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you look over here on the left side of the screen, you'll see that the Astros had 6 pitchers in the game today. McCullers, even though he gave up 3 runs in 4 innings, he was not really the problem with the game, in my opinion. 5 hits. And a couple of these runs scored, they just some unlucky breaks. I think that McCullers, for some reason, continues to have some unlucky breaks, and it leads to runs scored. But there was a walk thanks to the umpire, an extra guy on base thanks to the umpire, some missed calls, some little tappers on the infield and things like that. And they squeaked in several runs. They squeaked in 3 runs off of McCullers. But a couple of these walks, he had 5 walks, looks bad. But I would say that 3 of those were on McCullers. 2 of those were also mostly on the umpire. 4 strikeouts. I wouldn't say that he had a terrible outing, but the Astros gave up 7 runs today, and 4 of those had nothing to do with McCullers. Dubin came in, 1.2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. No walks and no strikeouts. Not a single strikeout for Dubin. Okert came in and was solid. Got 1 strikeout. Ended the inning with a 3-pitch count. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. And for some reason, they didn't leave him in there. They brought in De Los Santos. De Los Santos did give up 1 earned run on a solo homer. So that was another run scored. And then Ort kind of had a little breakdown in the 8th inning, and Abreu had to come in early. So he pitched .2 innings and got no strikeouts. 4 hits, gave up 4 hits. 1 earned run before Abreu was brought in to get the last out. And he shut it down. He had 1.1 innings pitched. Not a single hit. No earned runs. No walks. Not a single walk. And 4 strikeouts. How about that? 4 batters faced. 4 strikeouts for Brian Abreu. If that's not getting her done, I don't know what is. The game tomorrow for the Astros, we'll do a quick preview. And then we'll take a look at the scoreboard around the league. Thank you for bearing with me here. Yes, Fred's right. He says, so much fun when the Astros score more than one run. Absolutely, go Stros. Shrewdly says, Walker back-to-back games with home runs. Yeah, maybe he gets one in every game. Dean Kramer will be on the mound for the Orioles tomorrow. Another pitcher. The Orioles keep putting pitchers out there that we've already seen. I'm not sure that that's necessarily so wise, but I guess if that's their rotation, that's about all they can do. So far, this will mean that every single pitcher the Astros have faced, they've already faced him once before, so maybe they have their number. Javier is going to be on the mound for the Astros tomorrow. Looking forward to his performance, barring a stomach problem. He's not looking bad so far. We'll see what he comes up with. I think this is a game the Astros can definitely and will definitely win. The matchup predictor is way off, in my opinion. I don't quite understand why they have it so far off, but I believe this is going to be a huge mistake. Astros win Game 1 7-2. Game 2 10-7. So that means tomorrow it'll be like 13-10. I sure hope that the Orioles don't score that many runs, but I want to see the Astros put up a lot more runs. That's it for the preview of tomorrow. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Anything interesting going on? Rangers losing 3-2 in the 9th inning to the Guardians. The Angels losing to the Cubs 2-0. The A's beating the Mariners 1-0 in the second. So this game is still early, but the A's already up. So that's good. Go A's. Wow, the Pirates destroying the Rockies. That's not really surprising. Phillies going down to the Nationals. The Red Sox beating up on the Stankies right now. Lots of... Oh, no, that's over. That game's over. The Dirty Sox beat the Stankies 1-0. So the season series between the Yankees and the Red Sox was clinched apparently with this victory. So they got the series win over the Yankees. The Tigers unfortunately beat the Royals 7-5. They moved to 77-53, so they are quite a few games ahead of the Astros. The Blue Jays also win. They are within striking distance, only a few games ahead of the Stros, 75-54. And that's pretty much it for the scoreboard. Jay, you're right. We need some innings from Javi. I think that we'll get it tomorrow. It was a fluke last time simply because he had like some kind of stomach flu. They said he had diarrhea or something. He's likely feeling much better and ready to go tomorrow. But once again, I want to say thank you to everybody for being here today. You're lovely people. You're my group right now. You're my closest buddies. I don't have anybody here locally. I don't have my beautiful wife here. I don't even have a beautiful wife. I don't even have an ugly wife. I have no wife. I have no family here. No close friends are around me. The closest supporter I have is my hospital counselor, and she's an hour and a half from here. And it's not like I can see her every day. I can email her, or I can visit the hospital sometimes. But being here with all of you every day and enjoying the Astros games, no matter what they're doing, has been fun. Please stick around. I'm going to put together a short video that shows what I'm going to do for my giveaway. I've got my 1,000 subscriber thank you giveaway, and I'll be doing that soon. Be on the lookout for that. Now that we're over 1,000 subs, I can do the giveaway, and we'll have the drawing and pick a winner. And 3 consolation prizes of postcards, which I'll mail out from here in Hiroshima. And I look forward to wrapping that up and getting that out to you guys and gals. Ed says, go Astros. Absolutely. That's it for today. All I've left to say is go Stros. Once again, my sincerest appreciation. I apologize for my words being able to successfully express my thanks for all of your support, whether it's in action or word, in every way possible. Thank you so much. Ed says, I used to live in Japan while in the Navy. Yeah, right here in Hiroshima, in Iwakuni, we have a couple of bases. Steel Viper, thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. Prayers and good health to everyone, all of you, ladies and gentlemen alike. Buenas noches, todos vamos, Houston. Yes, let's go, Houston. And I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, sasebo. Okay. Very nice. Otsukare-sama deshita. It means thank you for your hard work. And I will see you tomorrow for Game 3 against those Dirty Birds. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.